Chapter 1091. Long Yu didn't bother to pay attention to those people's astonishment. After signing up, he knew that he would have to wait for an hour before the battle started. Therefore, he took the imprint of the Abyss Tribe warriors' first 50 battles and went to an independent space to watch it carefully. This independent space was created by the bloody battlefield next to each arena. It was a place for cultivators to challenge alien races. After Long Yu entered it, no one would come to disturb him. He activated the imprint of the Abyss Tribe and displayed the recorded images in front of him. Then, he thought about the rewards he would get if he defeated the Abyss Tribe warrior. First of all, I have to pay 100,000 demon coins to challenge this Abyss Tribe warrior. Because he won 50 battles in a row, the rewards and conditions of the challenge have changed. After paying 100,000 demon coins, I will get a chance to challenge the Abyss Tribe warrior. If I win, I will get 3 times the basic reward, which is 300,000 demon coins. Because I am a 2-star emperor and I challenge the Abyss Tribe warrior who is a 4-star emperor, if I win, I will get twice the basic reward, which is 600,000 demon coins. In this way, the basic reward for winning is 900,000 demon coins. Even without the Blood Demon Prince, I can earn enough demon coins to go to Qiming Galaxy to find like Qing Foam. Not to mention, this Abyss Tribe warrior has already won 50 battles in a row. In this bloody battlefield, every time a foreign tribe warrior wins 5 battles, he will get an extra reward. So, until now, defeating this Abyss Tribe warrior will get 10 extra rewards. Long Yu thought about what he had just seen. There were 10 extra rewards in total. The rewards range from an Archean level beast core at the beginning to an item of creation at the end. The value of the rewards gradually increased. When the Abyss Tribe warrior won 5 battles in a row, he got an Archean high-level beast core as a reward. At that time, the challenge fee and basic reward would be similar to the previous Mirror Tribe warrior. Therefore, the Archean high-level beast core, which was worth almost 10,000 demon coins, was already a nice extra reward. However, when the Abyss Tribe warrior won 10 battles in a row, he received a second reward, which was an archaic level supreme elixir, which was 10 times more valuable than an archaic level high-grade elixir. Of course, this primordial grade supreme grade pill was a pill used exclusively by humans and was useless to the beast race. However, it was still extremely valuable and was rather useful to Long Yu. The third additional reward was an upper Archean demonic tribe's combat weapon. Its value was about the same as a supreme Archean pellet. However, since it was a demonic tribe's combat weapon, it could only be activated with a beast core. Thus, in the demonic tribe's territory, it was sold at twice the price of a supreme Archean pellet. There is still the 4th, 5th, all the way to the 10th bonus reward. Long Yu felt his blood boil just thinking about it. If he could get all of these things, it would be a huge windfall. There were quite a few things that Long Yu could use for himself. Among them, 2 of the most precious were the 9th bonus reward, 2 heavenly source drag elixirs, which were both worth at least 500,000 demon coins. The 10th bonus reward was an item of creation, which was a treasure that contained the power of creation, the heavenly source dragon stone. Now, that Long Yu had been on the King Killer planet for so long, he knew the grades of the items of creation. Anything in the world could be integrated with the power of creation and become an item of creation. Cultivators could absorb the power of creation from the items of creation to improve the territory of their own small world. It could mainly help cultivators at the level of Emperor and above to improve their martial arts realm. For cultivators at the level of Emperor, whether they were cultivators of the human clan or the demon clan, the items of creation were equivalent to the elixirs of the past, which were essential for cultivation. The grading of the creations was the same as the grading of the Divine Monuments rules when Long Yu was on the Heavenly Mandate continent. The lowest was the Yellowstone level, followed by the Xian Jade level, then the Earth Seal level, and finally the Heavenly Crystal level. In these 4 grades, each grade was further divided into items, ranging from the 5th grade to the 1st grade. The 5th grade was the lowest, and the 1st grade was the most precious. The difference in each grade meant that the power of creation contained in the item was at least doubled. Therefore, the value of the items of creation at the Yellowstone grade and the Dark Jade grade was at least 100 times different. The 10th bonus reward for defeating the Cultivator of the Abyss clan, the Heavenly Source Dragonstone, was a 5th grade Dark Jade grade creation item. Among the previous rewards, there were 2 other Yellowstone grade creation items, which were 4th grade and 3rd grade respectively. Their value was far lower than the Heavenly Source Dragonstone. Simply put, as a 5th grade Dark Jade grade creation item, the Heavenly Source Dragonstone was worth at least 3 million demon coins. Long Yu roughly estimated that if he absorbed the power of creation in the Heavenly Source Dragonstone, he would definitely be able to advance 1 level in martial arts and step into the level of the 3-star Emperor. The items of creation are still very useful for my current cultivation. Taking elixirs and absorbing the spiritual chi of heaven and earth are not of much use to me now. They can only be used to practice the first 7 levels of the secret martial arts technique, Long Yu thought to himself. For him, the spiritual chi of heaven and earth would be less and less useful, and the power of creation would become more and more important. In every small world of the secret realm of rulers, there was an endless supply of spiritual chi of heaven and earth. However, the power of creation only existed in the outer heavens world. Moreover, it was invisible and could only be absorbed by cultivators when it was integrated into everything. It was the most precious cultivation resource. I wonder what level the divine artifact Magic Stone is at. It contains some kind of indescribable power. Apart from the power of creation, there is something else. It seems that I should ask the Blood Demon Prince when I have time. His status in the Demon Clan is so distinguished. Perhaps he has heard of the divine artifact Magic Stone. Long Yu thought to himself. He then began to watch the first 50 battles of the Abyss Clan expert and was ready to step into the arena. However, at this moment, a young Demon Clan man in golden armor suddenly stepped into the preparation space where Long Yu was. As soon as he saw this person, Long Yu frowned. This independent space prepared for the challenger should not have allowed anyone else to enter. How could someone come in? Moreover, Long Yu saw that the young Demon Clan man in golden armor also had the martial arts realm of a 4-star Emperor. He was also holding a true spirit stamp in his hand. You are the human cultivator, Mountain Ghost. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid your challenge with the Abyss Clan will be cancelled. The young Demon Clan man in golden armor glanced at Long Yu and said with a smile. Oh, Long Yu was a little surprised. He had paid 100,000 demon coins. How could this challenge be cancelled? Because I paid 200,000 demon coins, so I will challenge the Abyss Clan before you. Of course, after I go up, I will definitely kill the Abyss Clan. Of course, you will not have a share. Hee hee. The young Demon Clan man in golden armor smiled faintly and looked at Long Yu with disdain. A 2-star Emperor dares to challenge the Abyss Clan of a 4-star Emperor? You must be tired of living. This time, I save your life. In the future, you must be careful. Don't think that you are invincible. Long Yu narrowed his eyes and looked at this person. Feeling the strong aura from his body, he knew that this guy would not be easy to deal with. Those who dared to challenge the warriors of the Abyss Clan must think that they were strong. This young Demon Clan man in golden armor had the aura of a flood dragon. It seemed that he was a member of the Demon Clan. His bloodline power seemed to be very strong. Although he was only at the level of a 4-star Emperor, he could easily challenge a 5-star Emperor. No wonder he had the confidence to challenge the warriors of the Abyss Clan. It's a pity that this flood dragon monstrous race youth lacks a certain temperament, and that is a ruthless temperament. He doesn't have any killing intent, and the gap between them will be huge in battle. Compared to the Abyss Clan, I'm afraid he's still slightly weaker. Long Yu guessed that the identity of this Demon Clan man was not ordinary. He was too lazy to argue with him. Since the other wanted to go up first, he would let him go first. After he failed, Long Yu would go up. The result would be the same. Even if this guy succeeded, Long Yu could find other targets. There was no need to fight this guy head-on. Of course, the most important thing was that the young demonic cultivator in golden armor definitely had an extraordinary identity. Otherwise, the Blood Demon Prince would have stopped this guy when he was outside. In other words, even the Blood Demon Prince would have to avoid this guy. It was easy to see how strong his background was. If that was the case, there was no need for Long Yu to have a conflict with him. He would just let him go up first. Then you go up first, Long Yu said casually. His face was expressionless. He was neither angry nor anxious about that guy's action. Since he could watch the battles of the Abyss clan live, Long Yu would be more confident when he went up. Long Yu did not think that he was invincible. When he watched the previous 50 battles of the Abyss clan, he was very serious. He had seen every detail. To know oneself and know the enemy, one could win 100 battles. Of course, he cannot slack off. If the Abyss clan was too strong, even if Long Yu was asked to give up, Long Yu would not hesitate. That was Long Yu's personality. The young Demon Clan man in golden armor seemed a little strange about Long Yu's reaction. However, he did not take it to heart. He walked to the other side and started to watch the imprint of true spirit in his hand. Although this Demon Clan man was arrogant, he was very careful when watching the battles in the imprint of true spirit. He did not seem to be a fool. Chapter 1092. Long Yu's sudden attack caused the Flood Dragon demonic cultivator to jump in fright. It should be known that fighting was forbidden in this independent space that was prepared for resting. Wasn't this human boy courting death by fighting here? The young Flood Dragon beast cultivator's expression changed drastically. He subconsciously urged the power of the divine characters in his body to condense a golden barrier in front of him. However, when he activated this defensive move, he realized that he was wrong. The human boy was not attacking him, but, sorry, I was just hitting a mosquito. Long Yu smiled faintly. He withdrew the divine characters of Nine Nether that he had already attacked, turned around, and left without looking back. Hitting a mosquito? Who would believe that? The young Flood Dragon beast cultivator's expression immediately darkened. He felt that this human boy was completely toying with him. But what was the point? The young Flood Dragon beast cultivator did not think too much about it. He just thought to himself that after he defeated the Abyss race expert, he would definitely let this human boy have a taste of his power. When Long Yu came out of the independent space prepared for the challengers, he saw a group of beast cultivators in golden armor near the arena. They seemed to be Flood Dragon beast cultivators, and they were the guards of the young Flood Dragon beast cultivator. There was even a high-level dominator accompanying them. This showed that the young Flood Dragon beast cultivator's identity was definitely not ordinary. Just now, when Long Yu suddenly attacked, he pretended to hit a mosquito, but in fact he wanted to test the strength of the young Flood Dragon beast cultivator. With a comparison, he would be able to better estimate the strength of the Abyss race expert in the arena and lay a foundation for his own battle. In any case, the young Flood Dragon beast cultivator would not be injured, so there was no need for him to fall out with him. I'm really sorry, Brother Mountain Ghost. That person is the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon beast clan. I couldn't stop him, so he got the chance to challenge first. Seeing Long Yu come out, the Blood Demon Prince immediately came up to him and said with a somewhat depressed expression, "It's fine, let him go first." This Abyss race warrior lasted 50 consecutive battles. He shouldn't lose to this so-called third prince so easily. Long Yu said, "Brother Mountain Ghost, you don't understand. I'm afraid you've only just arrived in our demon race's territory." Prince Blood Demon shook his head and sighed. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demons is a famous genius in the Iron Wall Galaxy. Although he's only a 4-star emperor, do you know how old he is? He's only 16 years old. He became a 4-star emperor at the age of 16. Even if he had enough cultivation resources, not everyone could do it. Moreover, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon demonic clan had killed a 5-star emperor. He might be able to defeat a warrior of the Abyss tribe. Listening to Prince Blood Demon's words, Long Yu gained a better understanding of the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan. However, Long Yu shook his head with a smile and said to Prince Blood Demon, "If I had more demon coins, I would definitely join the bet and bet on the Abyss clan warrior to win. According to the rule of the bloody battlefield, you have to kill the alien warriors to win, right? If so, the Abyss clan might have a chance to win. Are you sure? Prince Blood Demon looked at Long Yu and said solemnly, "If you are sure, I will bet on the Abyss clan. If you are right, I will make a fortune. I don't have much confidence, but there's no harm in giving it a try. A bet of 100,000 demon coins shouldn't be much for you, but if you win, you'll earn a lot, right?" Long Yu smiled. Prince Blood Demon thought for a while and agreed. Now that the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan had come to challenge, the bet about Long Yu was postponed. Instead, the bet about the battle between the third prince and the Abyss clan warrior was opened. Up to now, more than 500 people had bet on the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan. That was more than 3 million demon coins. Only a dozen people had bet on the Abyss clan warrior, and each of them did not bet much, only 50 to 60,000 demon coins in total. If Prince Blood Demon went over and bet on the Abyss clan warrior, and the Abyss clan warrior won, he would make dozens of times the profit. Prince Blood Demon did not care about the 100,000 demon coins. After hearing Long Yu's words, he smiled and went to the 3 stewards of the Kingslayer Demon clan and handed over 500,000 demon coins. "I bet on the Abyss clan. 500,000 demon coins." Prince Blood Demon did not bet, only 100,000. After all, 100,000 was too little, and it would be meaningless to bet. If he bet 500,000 demon coins, he would get 80 to 90% of the bet if he won. That would be a great profit. Seeing that the Prince Blood Demon had bet on the Abyss tribe warriors, many people looked at him in surprise. They were all confused. Wasn't the Prince Blood Demon's 500,000 just giving them money for free? Of course, everyone was happy because of this. After all, the 500,000 demon coins would be given to them as a gift. This was a bet that they were sure to win. It would be great if someone gave them money. Although there were many people who shared the money, it was better to give them money. Then, some people noticed that Prince Blood Demon came to place his bet only after talking with Long Yu. They could not help but whisper to each other. They were all discussing the relationship between Long Yu and Prince Blood Demon. They were quite puzzled by this situation. Although Prince Blood Demon was slightly inferior to the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan, he did not have to listen to a 2-star Emperor cultivator, right? Prince Blood Demon, this 500,000 demon coins will be lost for sure. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan must have come prepared. He knows the Abyss clan very well, and he has many life-saving methods. That's right. Since the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan dared to come here, he must be fully prepared. This bet was originally meaningless, but since Prince Blood Demon has placed a bet of 500,000, we might as well get something out of it. Many people sneered secretly. Long Yu and Prince Blood Demon did not mind. To Prince Blood Demon, 500,000 demon coins was nothing. The key was that he trusted Long Yu. He did not know where this trust came from, but he had always been a good judge of character. He believed that he would not be wrong this time. Let's wait and see. Honestly, I am also looking forward to seeing the strength of the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan. Prince Blood Demon was older than the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan. Now that he was in existence in the Sovereign Secret Realm, he looked at the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan as if he was looking at a junior. Hearing that there was a junior whose talent surpassed his, Prince Blood Demon naturally wanted to take a look at the third prince. Not long after, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan walked out of the independent space that he had prepared for the bet. He just wanted to review the fighting style of the Abyss clan one more time to avoid any mistakes. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan must have seen the fighting style of the Abyss clan many times. After coming out, the third prince glared at Long Yu from afar. It was obvious that he hated Long Yu for teasing him just now. Long Yu did not take it to heart. The dignified third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan, a rumored genius, should not be someone who would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. What followed was a feast. Everyone was paying attention to the battle between the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan and the Abyss clan. Of course, many people were looking forward to the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan using tyrannical means to crush the Abyss clan expert. After all, this kind of thing could not be more common. With the identity of the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan, how could he be defeated in a bloody battlefield? Perhaps only Long Yu, Prince Blood Demon, and a few others were watching the situation in the arena. They felt that the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan might lose. It has begun. Long Yu's expression was solemn. As the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan stepped onto the arena, the battle between him and the Abyss Clan expert began almost immediately. Just like when Long Yu stepped onto the arena and the Mirror Race Warrior immediately attacked, the Abyss Clan expert also paid great attention to the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan. He immediately attacked and did not give the third prince any time to react. The arena was a place where life and death were fought. It was similar to a battlefield. When facing a foreign race, it was impossible to greet each other before the battle, like in a martial arts arena. Therefore, the Abyss Clan had already memorized this rule. When the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan stepped onto the arena, he immediately launched a fierce attack. The iron-like body of the Abyss Clan expert was like a cannonball. It broke through space and attacked the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan. This attack of the Abyss Clan expert completely relied on the extreme speed of his powerful physical body. He did not use any spatial divine characters. The sound of the sonic boom was endless. The Abyss Clan expert turned into a ray of light invisible to the naked eye and arrived in front of the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan. So fast, even though he was prepared, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan was still shocked by the opponent's speed. He immediately activated his divine characters, which were light attribute divine characters. A burst of dazzling golden light instantly exploded in the direction of the Abyss Clan expert's attack. However, the Abyss Clan expert was prepared for this. Without any warning, his powerful metal body changed directions at an extreme speed and attacked the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan from another direction. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan was in a hurry and could not defend himself from every direction. He could only raise his hand. His body flashed with golden light as he activated the divine characters of space and teleported to the other side of the arena, avoiding the Abyss Clan expert's attack. I heard that the physical body of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan is very powerful. Now that I see it, is only SOSO. Even when facing the physical body of the Abyss Clan expert, he still has to use the divine characters of space to dodge. How disappointing. Seeing that, Prince Blood Demon clicked his tongue, which immediately attracted the furious glares of the guards of the Golden Flood Dragon Clan nearby. Long Yu glanced at them and understood that the demon clan that Prince Blood Demon belonged to did not get along well with the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan. Moreover, they were at a slight disadvantage. Chapter 1093. While the Blood Demon Prince was sighing, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince did not dare to be distracted. Even though he was fully prepared, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince still understood that he had to be extremely focused when fighting against this Abyss Race expert. Otherwise, he would be killed by the opponent if he was not careful. It had to be known that among the 50 Abyss Race experts that had challenged this Abyss Race expert, there were many who could challenge those with higher cultivation realms, but they still lost to this Abyss Race warrior. The Abyss Race was a powerful race that came from the abyss of space. Emperor Path Mystique, Golden Flood Dragon Flurry. After the Golden Flood Dragon Third Crown Prince dodged with spatial divine runes, his entire body erupted with a terrifying power of spatial divine runes. Not only did his speed become extremely fast, but his body was also like the sharpest blade in the martial arena, nearly able to tear apart space itself. Emperor Path Mystique, Golden Flood Dragon Flurry, was an extremely destructive mystique that the Golden Flood Dragon Devil race could awaken. When it was used, the Golden Flood Dragon Devil race could turn into a killing machine. It was an extremely terrifying method in battle. However, this Emperor Path Mystique did not seem to have any effect on an Abyss Race expert of the same realm. The Abyss Race expert did not have any intention of retreating when facing the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. Instead, he faced it head-on. His metallic body shuttled through space, using his physical body to break through space. He had almost reached the peak of physical strength. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's speed was extremely fast, but the Abyss Race expert's metallic body could gradually predict where the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince would teleport, and he could gradually catch up to the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. This Abyss Race expert had experienced too many battles. Many of his opponents had died at his hands. Therefore, when facing the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, he could quickly see through the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's fighting habits. This was the biggest weakness that the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had exposed in this battle. Boom! There was a sudden explosion in the arena. The Abyss Race expert's metallic body suddenly sped up, raising his physical speed to the extreme. He directly collided with the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's next teleportation point, instantly sending the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince flying. This method was a bit like how long you used balance control to sense where the opponent would teleport. Using the spatial divine rune perception as the foundation, he could predict where the opponent would go in the next moment. In a battle of this level, it seems like spatial divine characters have instead become a burden, becoming a breakthrough point for the opponent. Instead, it is the extreme speed of the fleshly body that is more nimble because there are no signs at all. Long Yu thought. He had comprehended these things from the battle of the Abyss Race expert. The fierce battle in the arena was far from over. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was hit by the Abyss Race's expert, and his entire body flew backward. There was a turbulence in space, and he crashed into the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's originally handsome face was now completely distorted. All the bones in his body were fractured. If it wasn't for the fact that he was from the demon race, his physical body was already strong enough. Just this collision alone would have killed the Third Prince. Even so, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was seriously injured. He almost couldn't stand up after being hit by the Abyss Race expert. The Abyss Race's fighting style seems to be this simple. Using the strongest metallic body and the fastest speed, they forcefully break through. Once hit, they will be smashed into pieces. They are merciless. Long Yu narrowed his eyes and looked at the arena. On the arena, after the Abyss Race expert knocked the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince away, he didn't stop. His metallic body once again became streamlined and broke through space towards the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. His speed almost surpassed what the naked eye could see. Sonic booms rang out continuously, and the entire protective barrier of the arena trembled as if it had suffered a heavy blow. The third Golden Jiao Dragon Prince's body reacted at the critical moment. His body turned into a 3-zhong-long golden serpent dragon. Although some of the bones in his body were broken, he quickly condensed a layer of golden defensive barrier. The Abyss Race expert's metallic body hit the golden barrier like a cannonball. It instantly sent the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's Golden Flood Dragon body flying again. But this time, with the golden barrier, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince didn't suffer any more serious injuries. In the next moment, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's counterattack began. The entire arena flashed with golden light and formed countless golden whips. This seemed to be another Emperor Path technique of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. Countless whips danced wildly on the arena, almost covering the entire arena. These golden whips continuously wrapped around the Abyss Race expert. Although they couldn't harm the Abyss Race expert's metallic body, they greatly slowed down his speed. The Abyss Race expert was no longer as destructive and threatening as before. It's my turn. The eyes of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's Flood Dragon body flashed with golden light. The golden whips danced even more wildly. Under the Third Prince's control, they flung the Abyss Race expert's metallic body toward a certain spot on the arena. And where the Abyss Race expert was flung, a golden vortex of light rapidly formed. It contained unparalleled cutting power. It was actually a divine formation technique that the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had used. Because the situation was extremely tense at this moment, the third Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince didn't dare to be careless at all, and he directly executed his killer move. A fifth-grade god formation formed a golden whirlpool of light that sliced everything that fell into it into pieces. The Abyss Race expert was bound by countless golden whips and couldn't break free. He was thrown into the fifth-grade divine formation's golden vortex of light by the whips. Everyone's hearts were in their throats at this moment. Victory or defeat depended on the next moment. Could the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince control the Abyss Race expert and throw him into the golden vortex of light as he wished? Judging from his control of the divine runes of radiance, the third Golden WIRM Prince's comprehension of the divine runes of radiance should have reached the 9th level. This grade 5 divine array should be similar to my divine array 9 Abyss. At this moment, Long Yu was also paying close attention to the situation on the battlefield. Because the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was a 4-star Emperor, which was 2 levels higher than Long Yu, his basic power was more than 10 times higher than Long Yu's. Long Yu relied on his level 11 Darkness Attribute divine characters and the 9 Abyss God formation, which was a 3rd-grade divine formation, to display power that was not much weaker than the opponent's golden vortex of light. If this move could break through the Abyss Race expert's physical defense, then Long Yu should be able to do so as well. If this move couldn't, then there was no need for Long Yu to use this move when the time came. It would be purely futile. This Abyss Race expert was forced to use many powerful techniques in the previous 50 battles. He should be using them now. Long Yu thought to himself as he carefully watched the battlefield without blinking. The Abyss Race expert's body was originally metallic, and his streamlined body looked like many drops of water gathered together. However, when a few of them came into contact with the golden vortex of light, the shape of his body suddenly changed. This was the scene that Long Yu had seen in the previous 50 battles. The physical form of the Abyss Race expert was the same as that of the Demon Race. He could freely change his physical form, and his abilities were also very different under different forms. The entire metallic body suddenly grew larger, becoming 3 or 4 times the size of an ordinary human. Then, it expanded and turned into a pitch-black metallic sphere. The surface of the sphere became extremely smooth, and it could even reflect the surrounding golden whips, turning into a sphere. This should be a defensive stance. Long Yu's heart trembled. He wanted to see just how strong the Abyss Race's defense was. As Long Yu's heart trembled, the Abyss Race expert was directly thrown into the golden vortex of light. He was directly sucked into the 5th-grade divine formation. The pitch-black sphere was instantly submerged by the golden vortex of light. Then there was no more sound. That was it. Many spectators were a bit disappointed. They thought that the battle was over. However, those who had good eyesight, such as Long Yu, the Blood Demon Prince, and of course the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince himself on the arena, found that the Abyss Race expert was not harmed at all in the golden vortex of light. In the next moment, in just a breath's time, pitch-black metal fragments flew out of the golden vortex of light and directly blew up the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's golden vortex of light. These metal fragments broke through the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's 5th-grade divine formation and then reformed into the Abyss Race expert's body in midair. It was a streamlined metallic body that looked like several drops of water. This is splitting. Long Yu's mood became serious. Although this Abyss Race expert did not use the power of the divine characters, he was extremely skilled in physical cultivation. He could actually split his body. Of course, this was also a technique of the Abyss Race that Long Yu had seen in previous battles. However, he did not expect that the Abyss Race expert would be able to split and reform his body under the 5th-grade divine formation. This meant that Long Yu's 9 Abyss God formation would not have any effect on this Abyss Race expert. Of course, Long Yu had too many tricks up his sleeves. The 9 Abyss God formation was just one of them. If this didn't work, he could try more. Facing the Abyss race expert that was splitting and reforming, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince did not hesitate. Golden light erupted from his body and once again formed many golden vortexes of light. They were also fifth-grade divine formations, but they required a lot of energy to cast at the same time. At this moment, the golden vortex of light completely trapped the Abyss Tribe powerhouse, and then it closed in on the Abyss Tribe powerhouse. The Abyss race expert did not know how to use the divine characters of space. Therefore, this kind of sealing of space and closing in on him will be very effective. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince felt that he could be trapped inside. However, when Long Yu saw it, he shook his head in disappointment. Chapter 1094. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's plan was correct. He had used the Golden Vortex and the fifth-grade divine formation to trap the Abyss Tribe. However, he had neglected one point. The Abyss Tribe could directly break through the Golden Light Vortex. Several golden vortexes surrounded it. Just as Long Yu had expected, the Abyss Tribe did not wait for its death. Instead, it charged toward one of the golden vortexes. Its metallic, streamlined body turned into countless water droplets that pierced through the golden vortexes. Then, it charged out of the fifth-grade divine formation encirclement of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince and successfully reformed its body beside the Third Prince. The Abyss Tribe has a strong will to fight. They have a strong hatred for the races of the Beyond Heaven's world. The Blood Demon Prince stood beside Long Yu and sighed as he spoke to Long Yu. In a gladiatorial arena, the Abyss Tribe broke through the golden vortexes. The next moment, its body turned into a streamlined metallic blade that pierced the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's body. The Golden Flood Dragon was already injured, and its movements were a little slow. However, as the Third Prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Tribe, he was extremely talented and could not be killed by the Abyss Tribe. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's figure flashed. Golden light lit up the arena again. A huge golden net emerged from his body and covered the Abyss Tribe. The Abyss Tribe wanted to charge at the Third Prince, but it charged into the huge golden net. Although it was in the shape of a net, there were no gaps in it. It was completely sealed by the golden light attribute divine characters. Such a huge net was very flexible. Even the Abyss Tribe's strong body could not break through it in a short time. Fourth-grade divine formation. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's face finally lit up. Golden light gathered around his body and formed a huge golden sword. He slashed at the Abyss Tribe. The power of this huge sword could not be ignored. It was even stronger than Long Yu's strongest move, the third-grade divine formation 9 Abyss. When the great golden sword appeared, Long Yu's complexion changed. This might was indeed worthy of being the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race. In terms of absolute destructive power, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race had surpassed Long Yu. Of course, Long Yu's current martial Dao realm was only a 2-star emperor. Compared to the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's 4-star emperor, there was a 10-fold difference, but the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's level was already quite good. If Long Yu hadn't obtained what the Juyo Dragon Emperor had left behind, including the treasures and the remains of the Suffer Small World, he wouldn't have been able to reach the 11th level of compatibility with the Shadow Attribute Divine Script, and he wouldn't have been able to learn the methods of the Divine Formation of 9 Abyss. Long Yu's moves and accomplishments in martial arts all originated from the Juyo Dragon Emperor, who used to be a demigod. For the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince to be able to reach this level was already quite good. The great golden sword appeared and instantly slashed down at the Abyss race trapped in the giant golden net. The terrifying power cut the giant golden net in half, and then it landed on the metal body of the Abyss race. The golden light attribute divine script condensed into a golden blade light, directly cutting the metal body of the Abyss race in half. The metal body of the Abyss race was directly cut into 2 streamlined water droplets, crashing onto the ground of the arena, causing the entire fourth level of the bloody battlefield to shake. The edge of the arena suddenly quieted down. Everyone was observing the battlefield. They all knew that the vitality of the Abyss race was extremely strong, and it might be difficult to kill it with just this. Sure enough, under everyone's gaze, the two streamlined water droplets gradually floated up into the air, swaying, wanting to merge back together. Under the strike of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's golden sword, Long Yu found that a lot of the metal body of the Abyss race had been consumed, which made Long Yu understand more about the Abyss race. The metal body of the Abyss race was a streamlined liquid that could merge or separate. However, if it was hit by a strong force, it could dissipate, which was commonly known as death. Different from a human clan and a monster clan, the death of the Abyss race was always a partial death. The body of the Abyss race was made of many living metal bodies. These metal bodies formed an Abyss race, but their lives were separate. Therefore, even if the Abyss race was cut into pieces, the Abyss race could still reassemble itself. Of course, in this way, a part of the metal body of the Abyss race would die. When the entire body was destroyed, the Abyss race would be truly dead. If it's a powerful Abyss race, it would be too terrifying. Although it can't use the divine script, the nature of its body has already surpassed many races. Long Yu thought, the Abyss race was a powerful race that lived in the abyss of space. When all parts of their body were combined, they were extremely tough. They didn't seem to have martial realms, but if one's basic power was weaker than the Abyss race, they couldn't pose any threat to the Abyss race. Even the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, who was much stronger than the Abyss race, couldn't kill an Abyss race. You still want to struggle? Naive. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's head had a mocking smile. He raised his hand, and the fourth rank God Array and the golden sword formed again. He didn't wait for the two halves of the Abyss race to fuse back together. Instead, he created two golden swords and slashed at the Abyss race again. Everyone could feel that the Abyss race had lost at least 10% of its metal body after the previous slash of the golden swords. If the two swords slashed down now, the Abyss race would definitely be severely injured. The golden swords slashed down. The golden light gathered and split again. The two halves of the Abyss race's metal body were cut into pieces again. They became four streamlined metal droplets that fell heavily on the ground of the arena. Then, these four streamlined metal droplets tried to gather again, but their speed was even slower than before. At this time, many people heaved a sigh of relief. This way, the Abyss race would definitely not be able to turn the tables. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was in sight. The Abyss race had lost at least 30% of its metal body. In other words, it had lost 30% of its power. It could be said that it was heavily injured. Basically, all the cultivators present knew that if the Abyss race lost half of its metal body, it would have no chance of survival. Although the remaining half could survive, it would soon die due to the loss of its body. In other words, the amount of metal body represented the vitality of the Abyss race. The more metal body was lost, the weaker the Abyss race would be. Losing half was equivalent to death. Blood Demon Prince, that 500,000 demon coins doesn't seem to be enough for us to split. Yeah, Blood Demon Prince, why don't you throw another 5 million demon coins down? Otherwise, this bet will be too boring. At the side of the arena, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's golden armored guards mocked the Blood Demon Prince. These guards had not forgotten how the Blood Demon Prince had mocked the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. Is that so? The corner of Prince Blood Demon's lips curled up. He glanced at Long Yu, then walked straight to the three stewards of the Slayer King and said, I'll add another 5 million demon coins. Since no one is having a good time, I'll add more fuel to the fire. Long Yu was a little surprised to see this. Did the Blood Demon Prince trust the Abyss race that much? With the current situation, could the Abyss race still have a chance of turning the tables? Long Yu did not know much about the Abyss race. Although the Blood Demon Prince knew a lot, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince probably knew a lot about them too. He would not give the Abyss race a chance. What a fool! Giving us money for free, huh? Many people in the arena burst into laughter. Of course, other than the golden armored guards of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon race, no one else dared to laugh at the Blood Demon Prince. The Blood Demon Prince returned to Long Yu's side, as if nothing had happened, and continued to watch the battle on the arena. When the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince saw that the Abyss race had been cut into 4 pieces and turned into 4 streamlined metal droplets, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince revealed a victorious smile. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's body turned back into human form and shone with golden light. Alien race, you dare to invade the territory of the demon race. Only death awaits you. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince shouted righteously. Golden light flowed around his body. If he used the 5th grade divine formation, which was the Golden Vortex, he would be able to cause fatal damage to the Abyss race. However, at this moment, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's expression suddenly changed. The spectators in the surroundings of the martial arena were unable to discover this. Even Long Yu was unable to discover it. Due to the defensive barrier of the martial arena, everyone's perception of the martial arena was blocked. Even balance control was no exception. At the moment when the outcome of the battle was about to be decided, 3 small bloody holes appeared on the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's back. Then, the 3 bloody holes suddenly exploded. This horrifying scene could be said to be a fatal explosion created by the Abyss race. Everyone was shocked. It's the Abyss race's counterattack. They use a part of the metal fluid to quietly disperse into the surrounding void and then drill into the opponent's body to explode. Only the Blood Demon Prince seemed to have anticipated this. He said calmly, "This attack has consumed at least 10% of the Abyss race's metal fluid. However, it could be a fatal blow to the opponent. It's a move that hurts both the opponent and the Abyss race. They won't use it unless it's absolutely necessary." Using a part of the body to silently drill into the opponent's body to explode was a terrifying move that was impossible to defend against. The Blood Demon Prince must have experienced it himself to understand. Chapter 1095. Long Yu could sense that the Abyss race's method of turning a part of their body into metal fluid and merging with the void to move forward was somewhat similar to his Book of Shadows. In order to detect the opponent's sneak attack, one would have to be at least several realms higher than the opponent. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's body was surrounded by golden light. He was obviously on guard, but a part of the opponent's metal fluid still managed to drill into his body and self-destruct, leaving 3 huge bloody holes in his body. "Your Highness, Third Prince." Immediately, the golden armored guards at the side of the arena all cried out in surprise. This scene was really out of their expectations. As guards, none of them had ever fought against the Abyss race before. These people had always been protecting the Third Prince in the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race's territory. Even the guard leader of the mid-level Sovereign Realm didn't know much about the Abyss race. At this moment, who would have thought that the Abyss race would have such a method to injure the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince so severely? The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was in human form. His vitals were located differently from humans. However, one of the 3 bloody holes left by the Abyss race's metal fluid happened to be near the Third Prince's heart. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince immediately spat out a large mouthful of blood and retreated. He didn't dare to stay in the arena for long. Fortunately, the Abyss race had already lost 30% of its metal fluid. Now that another 10% had been self-destructed, it didn't have the remaining strength to chase after the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince successfully escaped from the arena. Then, the mid-level Sovereign Realm Guard leader of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race immediately came up and hugged the Third Prince. Seeing this scene, Prince Blood Demon couldn't help but start shooting his mouth off again. Rumor has it that the Third Prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race is extremely talented in martial arts and combat, but it seems that's all there is to it. Luckily, we're in the arena and can't escape. If we were in the real battlefield of the foreign races, we'd be dead. If it were any other time, the guards of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan would definitely retort Prince Blood Demon. But right now, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan was heavily wounded, and even his heart was affected. He was on the brink of death. The mid-level Sovereign Realm Guard leader immediately took out a special heart-protecting pill of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race and fed it to the third prince. Then, he brought the third prince into his own small world to prepare the best environment for him to recover. There were already thousands of people gathered around the arena. At this moment, they were all dumbfounded as they looked at the situation. It was difficult for them to accept this result. One must know that every one of them had participated in the bet and bet a lot of demon coins on the Golden Flood Dragon third prince. This time they all lost. Of course, these people did not really care about the demon coins. However, the fact that the Blood Demon Prince was the only one enjoying himself made them all very unhappy. But now, it was obvious that they were the ones who were giving money to the prince. Prince Blood Demon laughed heartily as he approached the three stewards of the King of Slaughter. The three Killer King Demon Race stewards didn't expect such a thing to happen. They could only nod and say, although the Abyss race is seriously injured, he's still alive. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race lost the challenge. Therefore, the result of the bet is set. The three Killer King Demon Race stewards weren't shocked for too long, because they had seen such things happen too many times. The Abyss race alone had already killed many human and demon cultivators who had a chance to kill it. Otherwise, how could it have won 50 battles in a row? Compared to Prince Blood Demon's joy, Long Yu is currently observing the Abyss race on the arena. My body is much stronger than the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race. However, in my current state, I won't be able to withstand the self-detonation of the Abyss race. This kind of creature that survived from the battlefield is the most terrifying. Even at the last moment, I'm afraid it can still kill me. As Long Yu thought to himself, he became extremely vigilant against the Abyss race. He didn't underestimate the Abyss race just because it was seriously injured. If he let his guard down, even if Long Yu could kill the Abyss race, he might also be buried with it. Of course, this was not a situation that Long Yu wanted to see. How could he kill the Abyss race after he entered the arena? He mainly had to use psychological tactics against the Abyss race. Gradually, a plan formed in Long Yu's mind. Prince Blood Demon returned to Long Yu's side after receiving the reward of the bet. Brother Mountain Ghost, it's your turn now. Don't underestimate the Abyss race. If you're not careful, you'll end up like the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race. I can feel that your body might be stronger than the third prince's, but not by much. If the Abyss race self-detonates, you'll die for sure. Prince Blood Demon reminded Long Yu solemnly. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Long Yu nodded solemnly too. Seeing Long Yu's expression, Prince Blood Demon was relieved. He admired Long Yu even more. If it were someone else, they would feel that they had picked up a great bargain. But Prince Blood Demon knew that the closer the Abyss race was to death, the more dangerous it would be. No matter what method it was, even if it meant perishing together with the enemy, such a terrifying creature would use it. Prince Blood Demon had been to the battlefield of the alien races in person. It was a place where the fighting was extremely fierce. It was like hell on earth. No matter how strong the enemy was, they could be killed in an instant, including the great sovereigns of a human race and the demon race. Even the great sovereigns could be buried by the alien races at any time on the battlefield of the alien races. There were all kinds of reasons for their death, such as being overwhelmed by the alien race's overwhelming numbers, a sudden suicide attack, the sudden appearance of a terrifying war machine. There were all kinds of ways to die. The Abyss race was a very terrifying race on the battlefield of the alien races because the closer they were to death, the more dangerous they would be. When encountering the Abyss race on the battlefield of the alien races, unless they were absolutely sure that they could win, it was best to run as far away as possible. Otherwise, even if they managed to kill the Abyss race member, they would be dragged down with them. The two biggest characteristics of the Abyss race were their extremely tough bodies and their fearless fighting will. They were more terrifying than all the other alien races. Now it's my turn, isn't it? Long Yu turned around and asked the three stewards of the Killer King Demon Clan. According to the rules, after a challenge, you must wait for 2 hours before you can challenge again. After 2 hours, you can go on stage. One of the stewards of the Killer King Demon Clan said indifferently. He couldn't help but feel envious of Long Yu. Not only the steward of the Killer King Demon Clan, but all the other cultivators also looked at Long Yu with envy. They all thought that if Long Yu went on stage, he would definitely be able to take advantage of the situation and kill the Abyss race member. It should be known that the Abyss race member had already lost 40% of its metallic fluid. It was not far from death. Any existence at the level of the Emperor could easily kill the Abyss race member in a few moves. This kid has really taken advantage of the situation. He's so lucky. If I had known earlier, I would have signed up for the challenge. This time, I would have made a lot of money. It's a pity that there's no such thing as luck in this world. It's really a bargain. The demon coins we just put into the bet should be considered invalid. We should set up a new bet. Many people began to suggest setting up a new bet. Originally, no one was optimistic about Long Yu's chances of winning the challenge. They all placed their bets on the Abyss race member. But now, no one thought that Long Yu would lose. Therefore, they all asked for the bet to be reopened. Due to this situation, the three stewards of the Killer King Demon Clan discussed for a while, but they shook their heads and rejected these people's suggestions. The Bloody Battlefield bet, once opened, will not be canceled, nor will it be changed. Whatever the bet is, that's how it is. But you can bet again now. Maybe you can earn back the demon coins you're about to lose. A steward of the Killer King Demon Clan said indifferently. Hearing this, the cultivators in the field were immediately unhappy. They all wanted to lose their temper, but in the face of a large organization like the Bloody Sandfield, who dared to raise any objections? Instantly, they all vented their anger on Long Yu. It's all this kid's fault. This time, the Blood Demon Prince won big. That guy bet 10 million demon coins. No matter how much we bet, we can't get back our share. That's right. This human kid is too disgusting. I curse him to be killed by the Abyss race member in the arena. Everyone pointed their fingers at Long Yu. This caused Long Yu's expression to darken. The three stewards of the Killer King Demon Clan were too emotional. Weren't they clearly tricking him, Long Yu? The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince signed up for the challenge after me, but he was arranged to fight before me. This is clearly a violation of the rules of the Bloody Sandfield because the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince has a noble status. Now, because there is a problem with the result of the battle between the Abyss race and the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, they're not willing to change the previous bet and have everyone point their fingers at me. This is obviously because they're jealous that I can encounter the seriously injured Abyss race member. Looking at the expressions of the three stewards of the Killer King Demon Clan, Long Yu knew that they were in such a state of mind. However, Long Yu didn't say much. After all, they were the stewards of the Bloody Sand Field and had the home advantage. It would be useless for Long Yu to say anything more. Most importantly, if the bet was changed, the Blood Demon Prince would probably win a lot less demon coins, which would do more harm than good to Long Yu. This way, I can make more money. Good. Chapter 1096. On the arena, the 4 metal droplets of the Abyss clan, which had been cut into 4 pieces, slowly approached each other and then fused together, reconstructing the tough body of the Abyss clan member. However, the body of the Abyss clan member had originally been made of 7 metal droplets. Now, only 4 were left, and 3 of them had been destroyed during the fight with the 3rd Golden Flood Dragon Prince. The 4 metal droplets fused together and then remained motionless on the arena. Long Yu knew that the Abyss clan member was conserving his energy. Even though he was heavily wounded, he didn't give up the hope of survival. Or rather, he wanted to kill more humans and demons. 2 hours passed quickly. Long Yu didn't know how well the Abyss race member had recovered, but judging from his body shape, he didn't seem to have recovered well. He had lost 3 streamlined droplets, and it would be difficult to regrow them in such a situation. Long Yu was ready to enter the arena. Be careful. Prince Blood Demon reminded him one last time. Okay, Long Yu nodded solemnly, and then walked toward the arena. The other people around the arena all stared at Long Yu in displeasure. In their eyes, Long Yu had really taken advantage of the situation. In such a situation, any one of them could kill the Abyss clan member and get the final prize. Nobody knew much about the Abyss clan. Many people in the arena were eager to step into the arena before Long Yu, just like the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince. However, after glancing at Prince Blood Demon, they suppressed the idea. The third Golden Flood Dragon Prince was one step ahead because of the powerful force behind him. Prince Blood Demon didn't want to confront him face to face. If someone else wanted to beat him to it, Prince Blood Demon probably wouldn't show any mercy. Everybody stared at Long Yu as he stepped into the arena. The two-star Emperor level human gradually walked into the arena, passed through the protective barrier of the arena, and set foot on the battlefield. As soon as he entered the arena, Long Yu immediately felt a chilling aura. It was as if the aura had merged with the surrounding space, making him feel as if he had stepped into a real battlefield. On this battlefield, there was only life and death. When Long Yu stepped onto the arena, he was ready to fight. However, the Abyss race didn't attack Long Yu like it did with the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. When Long Yu stepped onto the stage, the Abyss tribe member was still quietly resting. The four metallic droplets were motionless as if they were dead. However, Long Yu knew that this thing definitely wouldn't die just like that. Little Sue tried to communicate with him. Since the other didn't move, Long Yu didn't want to make the first move. After all, he didn't know how much the Abyss race had recovered, so he couldn't act rashly. The Void Nether Dragon Blade appeared next to Long Yu. It released its mind consciousness and tried to communicate with the Abyss race being. "Hey, Abyss race, what's your name?" Little Sue didn't have high hopes, but he still followed Long Yu's instructions and asked. The Abyss race didn't respond at all. It just quietly stood where it was and didn't move at all. Seeing this, Long Yu frowned slightly. Since there was no other way, he could only take the initiative to attack. He moved his feet and directly rushed towards the Abyss race. This time, Long Yu didn't use god characters. Instead, he directly condensed a layer of death armor on the surface of his body. Then, he rushed forward. It seemed like he wanted to fight the Abyss race head-on. Such a situation caused many people in the arena to be shocked. What was this kid trying to do? Since the Abyss race wasn't moving, if it was someone else, they would definitely use their fastest attack technique, God Formation, or God Chain to kill the Abyss race. This human kid actually rushed forward and wanted to fight the Abyss race head-on. He was simply courting death. This kid is courting death. It seems like we still have a chance to win the bet. That's right. Hurry up and sign up for the challenge. If this kid dies, it will be my turn to take advantage of him. Many people started to rush towards the Abyss race's supervisor, wanting to sign up for the next challenge. Prince Blood Demon didn't pay much attention to this situation. He just stared at the arena. As Long Yu rushed towards the Abyss race, he reached the front of the Abyss race in just a moment. People could see that Long Yu was holding the Void Nether Dragon Blade and stabbing at one of the streamlined metal droplets of the Abyss race. At this time, the Abyss race finally moved. Its metal body was completely streamlined. As soon as it moved, it was like a cannonball, almost twice as fast as Long Yu's. It crashed into Long Yu's face. The Abyss race had never been afraid of competing in terms of physical strength. However, this time, the Abyss race had miscalculated. Although Long Yu didn't use the god characters and only used his physical body to crash into the Abyss race, it was because his physical body was also very strong. This was especially true for the Abyss race, who was currently heavily injured. Their physical strength was almost equal. Boom! The two of them collided with each other in midair, and a strong vortex of air burst out, sweeping in all directions. The two of them were knocked back by each other, but immediately after, they rushed towards each other again. In the first round of confrontation, Long Yu didn't hurt the Abyss race at all. Instead, it was the Abyss race that created a crack in Long Yu's death armor. If the Abyss race was at full strength, this collision would have shattered Long Yu's death armor. From this point of view, Long Yu really did have the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's blessing. This is the feeling fighting mad, celestial body. If I want to successfully cultivate this unbounded body tempering technique, I can only improve it in this kind of close combat. Moreover, the speed of improvement is the fastest in a life and death situation. This was Long Yu's true goal. On one hand, if he wanted to kill the Abyss race and keep his life, Long Yu knew that he had to improve his physical strength. He could only start with the fighting mad, celestial body. On the other hand, Long Yu couldn't find a better opportunity to train his fighting mad, celestial body. The Abyss race's metal body was much faster than Long Yu's, so its impact was much stronger than Long Yu's. The two of them collided 3 times. Long Yu's death armor was completely shattered, and he was slammed into the defensive barrier. Blood flowed from all over his body. On the other hand, the metal body of the Abyss clan member didn't have a scratch on it. Its entire body was as smooth as a calm water surface. When the 4 streamlined water droplets fused together, they could burst out the strongest force in just a blink of an eye. This kind of head-on battle was what the Abyss race loved the most. Whoosh! At this time, Void's spiritual sense finally received the Abyss race's psychic intent. Originally, the Abyss race didn't want to pay attention to Long Yu, but now he seemed to have misunderstood Long Yu's meaning, causing him to have a feeling of respect for Long Yu. This feeling couldn't be expressed in words. It probably meant that Long Yu didn't use the god characters to fight him, but he was fighting with his physical body. This was the greatest respect for the wounded Abyss race. So the Abyss race would also respect Long Yu. Long Yu didn't think that this would happen, but it didn't matter to him. Respect? Could it be eaten? On the other hand, the fighting mad celestial body seems to have succeeded. His blood, flesh, and tendons are being transformed by the fighting intent, making him stronger than before. This process seems to be going on for a long time. Long Yu could feel the changes in his body during this direct collision. His entire body was burning with a special kind of battle intent. There was no better opponent than the Abyss race to practice the fighting mad celestial body. Let's continue. Long Yu's mouth curled into a smile. Then his body bounced off the protective barrier and instantly crashed into the Abyss race. His speed didn't slow down at all, but actually increased. The Abyss race was startled by Long Yu's speed. Its entire body suddenly merged, and a streamlined water droplet rushed towards Long Yu. The two sides collided again. The Abyss race felt that Long Yu's physical body seemed to be a little different, but it couldn't tell what exactly had changed. It seemed to be a little stronger, but it wasn't obvious. The next moment, the Abyss tribe member instantly split into 4 streamlined metal droplets. They dispersed, and then continued to charge at Long Yu from 4 different directions. That collision just now had already made Long Yu dizzy. Although the fighting mad celestial body was continuously transforming his physical body, it couldn't undergo a qualitative change in a short period of time. The opponent had split into 4 streamlined metal droplets, each of which was charging towards Long Yu from 4 different directions. When Long Yu sensed this, he had no choice but to charge towards one of them as fast as he could. Once again, he condensed the death armor on his body. It seems like the Death Realm body refinement is about to break through. Long Yu's physical body was already very strong, and he mainly relied on the Death Realm body refinement. Now that the death armor covered his body, it was actually a whole layer thicker than before, greatly increasing his defensive power. However, facing the terrifying physical body of the Abyss race, this little bit of enhancement was useless. A streamlined metal water droplet hit his chest, and a crack instantly appeared on Long Yu's death armor. At the same time, the other 3 streamlined metal water droplets also hit his back and legs. Long Yu's entire body was sent flying, and his fighting spirit boiled even more. However, his entire body suffered a lot of damage. The death armor was completely shattered, and a part of his back caved in. It looked extremely terrifying. In this extreme battle, Long Yu felt that the fighting mad celestial body's cultivation speed had almost reached the limit. Although he was injured, he became more and more excited. That's right. When that abyss race is facing an opponent that can be killed normally, he definitely won't be willing to sacrifice himself. So, he won't use that suicidal explosion method. When he realizes that he isn't my opponent, my fighting mad celestial body will at least have small success, and I won't be afraid of his suicidal explosion anymore. Chapter 1097. Outside the arena, no one understood what Long Yu was thinking, not even the Blood Demon Prince. The Blood Demon Prince frowned slightly and looked at the arena. Long Yu was being beaten up by the Abyss clan member. He couldn't understand what Long Yu was doing. He had clearly comprehended Shadow-type divine characters, but he insisted on fighting the Abyss clan member with his physical body. But this kid's physical body is really beyond my expectations. To be able to fight the Abyss clan member to this extent, his physical body is probably not much weaker than mine, the Blood Demon Prince thought to himself. He was a member of the demon race. Although he didn't deliberately cultivate his physical body, the strength of his physical body was definitely much stronger than that of a human at the same level. In addition, he was a lower sovereign realm cultivator, which was several levels higher than Long Yu's. Even so, Long Yu's physical body could still catch up to the Blood Demon Prince's. It was clear to see how strong Long Yu's physical body had become. However, this was not Long Yu's limit. From the remnants of the Bone Race, Long Yu had obtained the cultivation method of fighting mad celestial body. This was an unbounded level martial technique that had been passed down from ancient times. Nowadays, there was probably no one who still had an impression of it and could cultivate it. Basically, it was a lost, unbounded level martial technique, but now Long Yu had learned it. In the process of fighting the Abyss clan member, Long Yu was constantly burning his limits, relying on the endless pressure between life and death to promote his cultivation of fighting mad celestial body. As an unbounded level martial technique, there was no end to the cultivation of fighting mad celestial body. Long Yu could use this martial technique to continuously improve his physical body. Of course, the further he went, the slower the improvement would be. Therefore, from now on, Long Yu had to seize every opportunity to fight, stimulate the fighting mad celestial body, and cultivate it to a higher level as soon as possible. Of course, the spectators around the arena didn't know what Long Yu was doing. That kid doesn't look like he can do it. He's been hit several times in a row. Even if the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince were to do this, he wouldn't be able to gain any benefits. Not bad. This human kid is only a 2-star emperor, but he dares to fight the Yuan tribe like this. His physical body is beyond my expectations, but this kid is too stupid. Yeah, even a fool knows the result of fighting the Abyss race head-on. The Abyss race's body isn't just tough, but it can also split at will. It's hard to resist. No one was optimistic about Long Yu's chances. Of course, these people were happy to see this. Only in this way could they win the 10 million demon coins that the Blood Demon Prince had bet. On the martial arena, Long Yu was continuously hit by the 4 streamlined metal droplets of the Abyss tribe. His entire back caved in, and he fell heavily on the ground of the martial arena. Then, the 4 metal droplets didn't stop. For the Abyss race, there was no mercy. Everything they did was to kill their target, kill their opponent, and kill all alien races. The 4 metal droplets rushed toward Long Yu. At this moment, a layer of death armor finally appeared on Long Yu's body. This layer of death armor was more than twice as thick as the previous death armor. The Death Realm has broken through at this moment. A bright light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. He originally wanted to train the fighting mad celestial body, but he didn't expect that he would break through the Death Realm and step into the Transcendent Realm first. Cultivating the Death Realm to the Transcendent Realm was originally a top-grade Archean level body tempering technique. Even compared to the fighting mad celestial body, it was only 1 level lower. Now that Long Yu had cultivated it to the Transcendent Realm, the strength of his fleshly body had doubled, and he was even more resistant to beatings than before. All the meridians and bones in his body had been tempered to an even stronger level. The death armor shattered in the next instant. However, the four metal droplets continued to slam into Long Yu's body. They weren't able to injure him again. They only smashed Long Yu deeper into the ground of the arena. My body is only twice as strong, but it's already hard for me to get hurt by the Abyss Tribe. But it's hard to say. The Abyss Tribe has too many tricks. Just as Long Yu was thinking about this, he saw the four streamlined metal droplets of the Abyss race transform into four sharp metal blades, stabbing towards Long Yu's location. The metal droplets' impact was second to none and had endless brute force. However, in terms of pure cutting and penetrating power, they were several times stronger than the metal blades. Especially since the Abyss Tribe's body was extremely hard. The metal blade's penetrating power might be even stronger than the Nether Void Dragon Blade. Long Yu didn't dare to fight them head-on. Relying on the Death Realm body tempering he had just broken through, he instantly burst out with terrifying speed. He jumped up from the ground and dodged the four metal blades of the Abyss Tribe. At this time, Long Yu couldn't fight the Abyss Tribe head-on. He could only dodge. However, compared to the Abyss Tribe, Long Yu's speed was still a bit slower. Moreover, the Abyss Tribe turned into four metal blades and chased Long Yu from four directions. Soon, Long Yu was firmly surrounded by the four metal blades. He was trapped in a small corner in midair. The four metal blades instantly stabbed toward him. Long Yu had no choice. He could only hold the Void Nether Dragon Blade in his hand and meet one of the metal blades head-on, blocking it in an instant. However, after the metal blade was blocked by the Nether Void Dragon Blade, it instantly bent, changing its shape and direction, and continued to stab toward Long Yu. Of course, this way, the metal blade lost its original speed, and its penetrating power was much weaker than before. The metal blade suddenly pierced into Long Yu's chest, but it was clamped down by his strong chest muscles. The other three metal blades pierced into Long Yu's legs and back at almost the same time, but they were all blocked by the Nether Dragon Blade before they could pierce into his body, and their speed was greatly reduced. These four metal blades were not able to injure Long Yu's vitals. In fact, they had only pierced an inch deep. To Long Yu's current fleshly body strength, it was simply nothing. And when these four metal blades pierced into Long Yu's body, it caused the berserk battle intent in his body to burn even more intensely. In the next moment, Long Yu's meridians, bones, flesh, and blood were all filled with berserk divine runes. The berserk divine runes gave Long Yu a boundless battle intent, a feeling of wanting to vent it all out. "Get out of my way!" Long Yu shouted, and all the berserker runes condensed in his hands. He punched out at one of the metal blades that was sticking out of his body. This punch was completely powered by Long Yu's fleshly body. Of course, inside Long Yu's body, the berserker characters were burning, increasing his fleshly body and power by 30%. After successfully learning the War Berserker celestial body, one would be able to use the War Berserker's divine symbols to strengthen one's fleshly body and power. Now that Long Yu's comprehension of the unbounded martial skill had reached the beginner level, he could finally use it. In a short period of time, Long Yu had experienced successive breakthroughs in the Dead Realm and the Berserker's celestial body. The Abyss Tribe member was caught off guard. He had originally planned to crush Long Yu with his fleshly body, but now it seemed that Long Yu's fleshly body was no weaker than his. One of the metal blades was sent flying by Long Yu's punch. It flew off into the distance and returned to the shape of a streamlined water droplet. Then, the water droplet changed shape again. This time, it was a long needle which stabbed toward Long Yu. The other three water droplets also changed shape and attacked Long Yu in different ways. One of them was a giant hammer, which smashed down toward Long Yu with terrifying power. Berserker Fist Cannon. Long Yu clenched his fists, gathering the power of the Berserker characters. This was definitely worthy of being an unbounded class body refinement martial skill. The more Long Yu's battle spirit surged, the more power he could unleash. The Berserker Fist Cannon blasted out towards the hammer. The point of contact between the two instantly exploded, creating a vortex of energy that blew away Long Yu and the other metal droplets in the surroundings. Berserker's celestial body, small success. Long Yu couldn't help but cheer for himself. The Berserker's celestial body had made successive breakthroughs. This Abyss race expert was giving him too much pressure, especially now, when the Abyss race expert realized that they weren't a match for Long Yu. They would definitely use some sort of mutually destructive method. Right now, the most important thing for Long Yu wasn't how to kill the Abyss race expert, but how to defend against the Abyss race expert's final counterattack. Berserker Fist Cannon Kill. Long Yu charged forward. When he reached the small success stage of the Berserker heavenly body, the strength of his fleshly body was already more than 3 times stronger than when he first stepped onto the martial arena. His entire person became a human-shaped cannonball. With one punch, he sent one of the water droplets flying. It slammed into the defensive barrier at the edge of the arena, causing the entire arena to tremble. At the side of the arena, everyone was shocked by this change in the arena, and all of them were slightly dumbfounded. Not long ago, this human kid's fleshly body couldn't compare to the Abyss race experts. How could he have gotten so much stronger in such a short time? He actually sent one of the Abyss race's water droplets flying. By now, many people could already tell that Long Yu's rate of improvement in battle was simply too fast, especially in regards to the strength of his fleshly body. Generally speaking, this sort of thing could only be improved through tempering one's body in a calm state. However, this human brat was actually tempering his body while fighting. This was simply unbelievable. A body-refining martial skill like the Berserker celestial body had been lost for a long time. Moreover, it was an unbounded martial skill of the human race. It was natural that the demon race didn't know about it. On the battle stage, Long Yu unleashed another Berserker Fist Cannon. A terrifying fist aura exploded forth, sending yet another streamlined metal droplet flying, landing heavily on the battle stage's surface. At this moment, Long Yu's speed, power, and fleshly body completely surpassed the Abyss race expert. He was already in an invincible position. In the end, it all depended on whether the Abyss race expert had the ability to drag Long Yu down with them. Both sides would die together. And of course, Long Yu wouldn't give them that chance. Chapter 1098. In the fierce battle against the Abyss tribe, Long Yu had relied on his extreme physical strength to cultivate the mad fighting celestial body to the small completion realm. Now, he could use the mad fighting fist cannon. With the support of the mad fighting divine characters on his fists, one punch could explode with extreme destructive power. This kind of destructive power was different from the divine characters. Long Yu continued to use the balance control secret art to check his surroundings. Suddenly, he discovered that there were some metal particles that were rapidly spreading across the entire arena. These metal particles were similar to the Book of Shadows that Long Yu had used. They were extremely well hidden. If it wasn't for the balance control secret art, only existences in the ruler's secret realm would be able to discover them. This was also the biggest reason why the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon demonic race was ambushed by the opponent. It was because the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon demonic race couldn't discover the ambush. In the end, I still have to use this move. Unfortunately, I have successfully cultivated the Berserker divine characters. This Abyss race can't kill me anymore. At least, an attack as strong as the one that ambushed the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon demonic race can't kill me. Long Yu was calm. His physical body was extremely strong now. Fighting against the Abyss race, he was basically invincible. Moreover, he could use the balance control secret art to check the opponent's movements. It was impossible for the opponent to ambush Long Yu. It's time to end this, Long Yu thought. He looked around the arena and found that the 4 water droplets of the Abyss race had rapidly fused back into the main body of the Abyss race after 2 of them were blown away by his Berserker Fist Cannon. The 4 water droplets fused together, and their metal bodies shone with silver light. Berserker Fist Cannon. Long Yu raised his fist. The Berserker divine characters condensed in his body and gathered on his fist. His whole body burst out with extreme speed. He turned into a flowing light and attacked the Abyss Race. The speed of the Abyss Race wasn't slow. Even though it had lost 3 water droplets, its speed wasn't affected much. Seeing that Long Yu was rushing towards it, it actually started to dodge. The Abyss Race had the strongest physical body, but now, facing Long Yu, it was subconsciously dodging. This situation made all the spectating cultivators in the arena exclaim in surprise. Many people finally understood what Long Yu was doing. This kid was actually using the Abyss tribe to cultivate some kind of body-refining martial skill. Now that he had successfully cultivated that body-strengthening martial technique, the Abyss Race wasn't his opponent. Shocking. Everyone could only feel shock. Even though many people felt that Long Yu was taking advantage of others and felt disdain towards him, at this moment, they couldn't help but admire him in their hearts. This was because the idea of cultivating and improving through battle was not something an ordinary person could think of. What if he couldn't make a breakthrough in his martial skill? Wouldn't he be killed by the Abyss tribe? It was too risky. On the arena, Long Yu didn't use the power of the 9 Serenity's divine characters. He just used the Berserker divine characters and his physical body to chase after the metal body of the Abyss Race. Because the metal body of the Abyss Race was in the shape of a water droplet, its speed in space was too fast. Even though Long Yu's physical strength had increased a lot and his speed had doubled, he still couldn't catch up with the Abyss Race. Moreover, the agility of the Abyss Race was much higher than Long Yu's. While moving at high speed, it was difficult for Long Yu to make a turn. However, because of the streamlined metal body of the Abyss Race, it wasn't a problem for the Abyss Race to make a turn or retreat in space. In comparison, Long Yu's body was extremely clumsy as he dashed around the arena, while the Abyss Race had enough energy to dodge Long Yu's pursuit. The two of them didn't use the Berserker divine characters and only relied on their physical bodies. However, this kind of battle was even more thrilling. It's coming. Suddenly, Long Yu's heart trembled. A layer of death armor subconsciously appeared on his body. The next moment, countless metal liquids came from all directions and rained down on Long Yu. This was the fatal explosion that had been used against the Golden Wyrm Third Prince. It was the Abyss Race's suicidal sneak attack. Before, the Abyss Race had already lost 40% of its metal liquids. Now it's using this move. Even if I don't do anything, the Abyss Race will die on its own. The metal liquids that make up its body are just too much missing. As Long Yu thought this, he felt the death armor explode into pieces. Countless metal liquids stabbed into Long Yu's body. Thankfully, Long Yu's fleshly body was now protected by the divine runes of the Berserker. As a powerful, unbounded martial technique, the Berserker's celestial body was able to unleash its full potential. Even though it was only at the level of minor completion, it was enough to keep the metal liquid at bay. Although the metal liquids stabbed into Long Yu's body and exploded, they couldn't break through Long Yu's skin. They kept exploding outside his skin. Long Yu's entire body was submerged in the metal liquids. The fatal explosion happened again. This scene on the arena made the spectators happy. Even the Golden Wyrm Third Prince, who was a 4-star emperor, was seriously injured by this move. This human kid must be dead. No matter how strong his body was, it couldn't be stronger than the Golden Wyrm Third Prince, right? Everyone was thinking that Long Yu was definitely dead, and then they could start dividing the 10 million from the Blood Demon Prince. Although the Abyss tribe member was definitely dead after this suicidal explosion, it could still hold on for a while. If the Abyss tribe member didn't die, and Long Yu died first, it meant that Long Yu had failed the challenge, and the Abyss tribe member would die of natural causes. It could be said that this was creating the most profit for the gory battlefield. 52 people had challenged the Abyss tribe member, and the challenge fee alone was more than 10 million. Including the gambling fees, the gory battlefield had definitely made a lot of money. If the Abyss tribe member died of natural causes, they wouldn't even need to give out the rewards, and they would directly save more than 10 million demon coins. Everyone was already calculating the gains and losses in their hearts. As for the golden armor guards of the golden WIRM demon race, they were gloating and looking at the blood demon prince provocatively, as if to say, "Look, didn't you also lose 10 million demon coins?" However, the next moment, nobody could laugh anymore. The blood demon prince was the only one who could still laugh. Because in the arena, Long Yu's figure gradually appeared. Although the fatal explosion just now had made Long Yu's body a bit bloody, he was still moving and rushing out of the explosion. Then, Long Yu raised his fist and punched at the Abyss tribe member who had lost the ability to move. Berserker Fist Cannon. Long Yu's body was covered in blood, but he soon recovered under the effect of the double body tempering technique, the Berserker Fist Celestial Body Tempering Technique, and the Dead State Body Tempering Technique. Then, he punched the last 3 water droplets. The first water droplet was blown away by Long Yu. Then, it scattered into a metal liquid in midair and fell on the ground of the arena like a puddle of liquid. For the Abyss tribe member, the fatal explosion just now was the last burst of power in its life. After the explosion, whether Long Yu died or not, the Abyss tribe member would die eventually. The remaining 3 water droplets had completely lost their power and could not fight against Long Yu anymore. Although they still had vitality, it was extremely weak. Long Yu then ran to the second water droplet. This time, the water droplet did not run away. Instead, it crashed toward Long Yu and exploded when it was close to Long Yu. A dying counterattack? Long Yu's expression changed slightly. The direct explosion of the water droplet was much more powerful than the previous explosion of the metal liquid. Long Yu had no choice but to use the Nether Void Dragon Blade in his hand to teleport to the edge of the arena. Then, the explosion of the water droplet covered the entire arena. Even the last water droplet did not linger on and directly exploded. This was the last burst of the Abyss tribe member's life. All of its power was completely released at this moment. That Abyss race, after being captured and brought to the bloody battlefield, had consecutively defeated 50 experts from the human race and demon race. 45 of them had died, and the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had been gravely injured. But now he had been humiliated by Long Yu and self-destructed. Long Yu's entire body was surrounded by death aura and covered by death armor. Because he was far away, he was able to resist the opponent's double explosion. His powerful physical body allowed Long Yu to not be injured at all. If it was the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince in this situation, he would probably be injured as well. If he was unlucky, he might even be seriously injured. Long Yu's current physical strength was not much different from a low-rank Dominator rank Beast Cultivator who did not deliberately train his physical body. He was several times stronger than the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. On the arena, the Abyss race's last burst of metal liquid had been annihilated in the explosion. Nothing was left. When the smoke and dust dispersed, everyone looked at the arena again. Only Long Yu was still standing there, and that Abyss tribe member had completely died. Even its body did not exist. Oh, all right. Long Yu sensed the remnants of the battle on the martial arena and sighed inwardly. The Yuan tribe was really a natural fighting race. They didn't know how to beg for mercy. The only thing they did was kill all the alien races. To the Abyss tribe, the human race and the demon race were obviously foreign races. The Abyss tribe that lived in the space abyss did not know how to use the power of the divine characters. Their living environment was extremely harsh. They wanted to rush out of the space abyss and occupy the territories of other races. Long Yu could understand. Chapter 1099. Long Yu walked out of the gladiatorial arena. The others around him did not realize what had happened until Long Yu walked out of the arena. Only then did they realize that the Abyss clan had been completely killed by Long Yu, or rather, the Abyss clan had self-destructed. However, to be able to survive such a degree of self-destruction, this human boy, named Mountain Ghost, must have a very strong defense. It should be noted that even the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince could not withstand the fatal explosion of the Abyss clan, but this human boy had. Moreover, this human boy was only a 2-star emperor, which was even more rare. The 3 stewards of the Kill King Demon clan were also a little puzzled by this situation. Originally, they thought that the Abyss clan could survive for a while after the human mountain ghost died. They did not expect that mountain ghost would be so tough that the self-destruction of the Abyss clan could not kill him. In this way, they would have to pay for the 10 extra rewards and other things. Here is your basic reward, 900,000 demon coins. Because you're a 2-star emperor, you are challenging a 4-star emperor, so the reward is twice as much. One of the stewards of the Kill King Demon clan said faintly. One of the stewards of the Kill King Demon race said faintly. To them, giving out rewards was just a job. Therefore, there was nothing to be jealous about. They had given out rewards before, much more than what they were giving out now. However, the fact that so many heaven-defying rewards have been obtained by a mere 2nd-star Imperial Monarch caused him to feel slightly displeased. 900,000 demon coins was a huge sum of money to Long Yu. With that many demon coins, he would be able to use the space-time imprints teleportation formation and directly teleport to Qiming Galaxy, the territory of the White Feather Monstrous clan, where Qingfeng was. After this battle, Long Yu's harvest was far more than that. In addition to 900,000 demon coins, he could also take half of the profits from the bet with the Blood Demon Prince, which was at least 1,000,000 demon coins. Most importantly, he would receive the 10 extra rewards represented by the Abyss clan. To Long Yu, the most precious items were, of course, the Heavenly Source Dragon Stone and the Heavenly Source Dragon Pill. The former was the 10th extra reward and was worth at least 3,000,000 demon coins. There were 2 of the latter, which was the bonus reward for the 9th item. In total, they were worth around 6 or 700,000 demon coins, both of which were mid-grade, unending grade medicinal pills. The Heavenly Origin Dragonstone was a mysterious jade grade, 5th grade creation item. Although it was the lowest grade among the mysterious jade grade, it was extremely effective for cultivators at the Emperor's level. In fact, it was even possible for them to raise their cultivation realm by a level. Among the 10 additional rewards, there were 2 creation items, both of which were Yellowstone level. They were Tier 3 and Tier 4 respectively. Although their effects were far inferior to the Heavenly Origin Dragonstone, they were still decent items. Each of them was worth more than 100,000 demon coins. All in all, this battle with the Abyss clan had directly brought Long Yu more than 5,000,000 demon coins. Most of them were materials, but demon coins were enough for Long Yu. He only needed a few 100,000 demon coins to teleport to Qiming Galaxy. Soon, Long Yu received a dividend of 1.5 million demon coins from the Blood Demon Prince. If the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince had not seriously injured the Abyss clan, the dividend would have been at least double. And because the Abyss clan was seriously injured, many people bet a lot of demon coins on Long Yu. Therefore, the demon coins that the Blood Demon Prince earned were much less than at the beginning. Of course, the Blood Demon Prince had already won several million demon coins from the battle with the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince. Overall, it was not a loss. In fact, it was a big profit. After receiving all the rewards, Long Yu was not interested in staying in the bloody battlefield for the time being. After all, he had earned enough demon coins and could go to Qiming Galaxy. It was more important for him to find a place to cultivate in peace. But on second thought, Long Yu thought that if he wanted to cultivate the fighting celestial body, he would not be able to find a place like the bloody battlefield even if he searched the entire territory of the demon race. Going to Qiming Galaxy is also a form of cultivation. Staying here is also a form of cultivation. So I'm not in a hurry. The only thing I need to worry about is the Netherworld realm. Half of the year has passed. In the remaining half a year, all the creatures in the Netherworld realm will have to be relocated. A sense of urgency arose in Long Yu's heart. Therefore, he informed the Blood Demon Prince and was ready to leave the bloody battlefield. Are you planning to absorb this Heavenly Dragon Stone to improve your martial arts realm? The Blood Demon Prince looked at Long Yu and said with a smile, "You don't have to leave the bloody battlefield. I have a VIP space on the top floor of the bloody battlefield. You can go there to absorb the Heavenly Dragon Stone and improve your martial arts realm. Anyway, It doesn't matter where you cultivate. In a VIP space, no one will disturb you. And if you are willing, you may even see some experts fighting against aliens at the level of a higher ruler. When Long Yu heard this, he subconsciously became alert. After all, he and the Blood Demon Prince had only met by chance. But on second thought, the Blood Demon Prince's status was very high. Moreover, he was a lower ruler. If the Blood Demon Prince wanted to deal with him, there was no need to play any tricks. He could just deal with him directly. Okay, thank you, my friend. Long Yu thought for a moment and agreed. After all, he had nowhere to go. Then follow me. As the Blood Demon Prince spoke, he turned around and left the place. On the fourth floor of the bloody battlefield, the battle between Long Yu and the Abyss clan had attracted thousands of spectators. After the battle, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Goblin clan was thoroughly humiliated. Of course, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Goblin clan was still being treated for his serious injuries. When he woke up and learned about the battle between Long Yu and the Abyss clan, he would probably vomit blood in anger. The Golden Armor Guards of the Golden Flood Dragon Goblin clan all stared at the backs of Long Yu and the Blood Demon Prince as they left. It seemed that they would not let the matter rest. On the top floor of the bloody battlefield, there were indeed many VIP spaces. These VIP spaces could not be opened with money. One must have strength and status. The Blood Demon Prince's VIP space on the top floor of the bloody battlefield was only opened with the help of his father. From this VIP space, one could see the situation of the entire 7th floor of the bloody battlefield. In the 7th floor of the bloody battlefield, super foreign race experts at the level of Upper Dominator were imprisoned. Every one of them could only be captured alive from the battlefield of the foreign races after a great deal of effort. There were not many challengers at the level of Upper Dominator. There might only be 5 or 6 battles a month. Therefore, to see a battle of this level, one needed to be lucky. When Long Yu came to the VIP space, he found that it was a palace-like space. In the main hall of the palace, one could see the situation of the 7th floor of the bloody battlefield. There were also several side halls. Long Yu was going to one of the side halls to absorb the Heavenly Dragon Stone. The Blood Demon Prince would not covet Long Yu's things at all. After bringing Long Yu here, he immediately said goodbye and left. He still had his own things to do. He conveniently gave the key of this VIP space to Long Yu. In fact, if this key was a jade talisman, with this jade talisman, one could freely enter and exit this VIP space and go to any place in the VIP space. Long Yu randomly found a side hall. After making sure that there was no one around, he first took out 2 Heavenly Dragon elixirs and swallowed one of them. The Heavenly Dragon elixir was a mid-grade, endless level elixir. It contained very rich spiritual chi of heaven and earth, and even a trace of creation power. Of course, there was not much creation power. It looked like the Heavenly Dragon Stone emitted a little bit of it and was absorbed by the elixir. I'll use the Heavenly Dragon Elixir to cultivate the Devil Dust Heart first. The first level should be easier to cultivate. Long Yu thought to himself. Then, he absorbed the spiritual chi of heaven and earth from the Heavenly Dragon Elixir. The extremely rich spiritual chi of heaven and earth surged into Long Yu's meridians and dantian. Furthermore, because he had cultivated the Dubhi Chi guiding skill and was in the Beyond Heaven world, he directly attracted a trace of star power from the direction of the Dubhi star, which doubled the efficacy of the Heavenly Dragon Elixir. The Dubhi Chi guiding skill was indeed very effective. On top of that, Long Yu could use the Nether Dragon Blade to completely absorb the spiritual chi of heaven and earth in the elixir. As a result, the Heavenly Dragon Elixir's efficacy was doubled. The same Heavenly Dragon Elixir, Long Yu's efficacy, was 3 to 5 times better than that of ordinary martial cultivators. This was the biggest difference between him and other martial cultivators. An endless amount of spiritual chi of heaven and earth was absorbed into Long Yu's body. Then, it gathered near his heart. Following the cultivation method of the first level of the Devil Dust Heart, Long Yu began to condense the Devil Dust Heart. The Devil Dust Heart would become Long Yu's second heart. This was the third secret martial art that he had comprehended from the 9 Underworlds prison tablet. It was also the one that the Geo Dragon Emperor had cultivated before. This made Long Yu a little confused. If the Geo Dragon Emperor cultivated the Devil Dust Heart, then did the 2 hearts in his body perish at that time? If it was a deity, then everything was possible. But if it was not, Long Yu could not imagine what kind of power could kill the Geo Dragon Emperor in the demigod realm. Shaking his head, Long Yu did not think too much about it. It was hard for him to understand what had happened in the past. Right now, the most important thing was to successfully cultivate the Devil Dust Heart. The first level of the Devil Dust Heart could allow Long Yu to have the ability to be reborn, and the strength of his body would be further enhanced. What would be the effect of cultivating it to the second level? Could it be the effect that Long Yu had guessed, the effect that would allow him to consume the same type of elixir without the effects of the elixir weakening? Long Yu still did not know any of this. Only after successfully cultivating the Devil Dust Heart would he be able to consider other things. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth unceasingly gathered near Long Yu's chest, and then merged with the 9 Underworld's divine characters in his body, gradually forming the shape of a heart. At this time, something that made Long Yu embarrassed happened. Relying on just 1 heavenly dragon elixir was actually not enough to condense the Devil Dust Heart. Not only that, Long Yu calculated that even if he consumed 2 heavenly dragon elixirs, it would still not be enough to condense the Devil Dust Heart. After all, if he consumed a second heavenly dragon elixir, the effects would be halved. Chapter 1100. Long Yu had obtained 5 transcendent infinite level elixirs from the Sea of Death Chi in the realm of 9 serenities. He had already taken 2 upper vitality elixirs for his breakthrough to the 1-star Emperor and the 2-star Emperor respectively. Long Yu had planned to keep them for later use, but now that the spiritual chi of heaven and earth was insufficient, he had to take 1 more. 2 heavenly source dragon elixirs and 1 upper vitality elixir were all taken by Long Yu. Abundant spiritual chi of heaven and earth filled his body and formed another heart near his heart. Although it was Long Yu's 3rd time taking the transcendent infinite level upper vitality elixir, and its effect was only a quarter of the first time, the spiritual chi of heaven and earth still far exceeded the sum of the 2 heavenly source dragon elixirs. This was the huge difference between a transcendent and a mid-grade elixir. Time ticked by. Long Yu's second heart, the Devil Dust Heart, gradually formed. At this moment, Long Yu felt that all the blood, flesh, and meridians in his body were connected to the Devil Dust Heart. As the Devil Dust Heart began to beat for the first time, Long Yu felt that his life force had become extremely tenacious. As long as the Devil Dust Heart was not destroyed, Long Yu would be able to use this second heart to complete the rebirth of his body. Not only that, in addition to cultivating the Devil Dust Heart, the 3 elixirs that Long Yu took also contained a lot of creation power, which strengthened the seed of his 3rd mystique, the Dragon Breath of the 9 Serenities. The Dragon Breath of the 9 Serenities was originally a mystique of the Emperor Path, and it was not far from the Emperor Path. If Long Yu wanted to, he only needed to absorb the creation power in the heavenly source dragon stone, and he would definitely step into the level of the 3-star Emperor. However, he was not in a hurry. He planned to do other things first. It took Long Yu 3 whole days to condense the Devil Dust Heart. During these 3 days, no one else came to the VIP space, including the Prince Blood Demon. No one could be seen. Long Yu trusted Prince Blood Demon quite a bit. Therefore, he returned to the Netherworld realm and left the mark of the Netherworld in the side hall, which emitted a burst of light. Of course, Long Yu still asked the Nethervoid Dragon Blade to stand guard by the 9th Hell mark, so Long Yu would be able to receive news of any mishaps. After returning to the 9 Nether realm, Long Yu started to comprehend the 9 Nether prison tablet a step further, because he couldn't wait to know what the effects of the second layer of the Devil Dust Heart were. From a 9 serene prison tablet, Long Yu's comprehension speed was rather fast. After all, he was only using the 9 serene mark to retrieve the things that the Geo Dragon Emperor had comprehended from it. Inside the 9 underworlds, steel, gloomy, and chaotic 9 underworlds divine characters condensed. From these 9 underworlds divine characters, Long Yu was able to comprehend some mysterious things, such as the devil dust heart. Long Yu discovered that as he mastered more 9 serene marks, he could see deeper into the 9 serene prison tablet and obtain more information from it. By mastering 80% of the 9 serene marks, he should be able to completely master the 2 martial arts secret techniques. The remaining 20% should be the Juyo Dragon Emperor's comprehension of the revelation level 9 underworlds divine characters. For the time being, it was still difficult for Long Yu to reach. Long Yu wanted to comprehend the second layer of the devil dust heart and see if he could find a special method that would allow him to absorb all the medicinal power of the same elixir. However, before he made any progress, someone came to the VIP space outside. What a coincidence! Someone came just after I entered the 9 Nether Realm. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He immediately stopped comprehending and left the 9 Nether Realm. He returned to the Beyond Heaven world and appeared in the side hall of the VIP space. As soon as Long Yu appeared and put away the Nether Dragon Blade, the door of the side hall was kicked open. This situation made Long Yu frown slightly. This was the VIP space of the Blood Demon Prince. Who dared to kick the door of the side hall here? Void Soul only sensed that someone was approaching and let Long Yu come out, but it did not know who it was. When the door of the side hall was kicked open, a woman appeared in front of Long Yu. Moreover, it was a red-haired woman in red clothes with an extremely seductive face. This woman had an excellent figure. Her red clothes made her waist look even more slender. Her red hair hung down to her waist and fluttered slightly with her movements. It was an enchanting sight. "Who are you?" Long Yu subconsciously asked. She was such a beautiful girl, and he could feel the aura of the demon clan from her body. Perhaps she was related to the Blood Demon Prince? However, the red-haired woman did not answer Long Yu's question. She only snorted and said, "I will answer this question when you are dead." As soon as she finished speaking, the blood-red color on the red-haired woman's body scattered and dyed her hands. A dense, murderous aura erupted from her body. Long Yu immediately became alert and entered the most vigilant state. This was because he could feel that the red-haired woman was definitely an existence that surpassed a lesser dominator. She was even stronger than the Blood Demon Prince. If such a person wanted to kill Long Yu, it would be a piece of cake. Long Yu subconsciously wanted to throw out the 9 Hell Tablet to intimidate the other party and then find an opportunity to escape. However, he soon realized that he could not control his body at all. A burst of blood-red mist enveloped Long Yu without any warning. It made it difficult for him to move within the mist. Pure World Physique. Long Yu immediately activated the Pure World Physique. However, the effect of the Pure World Physique was not particularly good. He could barely move a little. However, the next moment, the red-haired woman's attack arrived. A blood-red sword aura suddenly descended and directly slashed at Long Yu's head. Long Yu could barely move a little. He tilted his body and raised his hand to meet the attack. The blood-red saber aura flashed and directly chopped off one of his arms. This result was already acceptable for Long Yu. After all, compared to his life, an arm was really nothing. Wait! Suddenly, a cry came from outside the side hall. Then, a red figure flew in and blocked the red-haired woman's way. Long Yu had been maintaining a balanced state. Naturally, he knew that the person was Prince Blood Demon. "Sister, I forgot to tell you that Mountain Ghost is a friend of mine. Don't attack him." Prince Blood Demon stood in front of the red-haired woman with a puzzled look on his face. What he said stunned both Long Yu and the red-haired woman. Long Yu was surprised by the identity of the red-haired woman. At the same time, he felt that he should be saved. He did not need to throw out the abyssal prison tablet to escape anymore. The red-haired woman, on the other hand, was a little surprised. She looked at Prince Blood Demon and then at Long Yu. There was a hint of apology in her eyes. "I'm sorry. I thought you were a thief." The red-haired woman suddenly blushed. "Brother Mountain Ghost, are you all right?" Prince Blood Demon stopped his sister and then ran to Long Yu with a face full of regret. "I'm really sorry. My sister was too impulsive. Take this pill. It should be able to completely regenerate your arm." Prince Blood Demon took out an Archean healing pill. Long Yu had seen this pill before. He had even used it before. It was the pill that was used to cure Yi Ziwei. It cannot be any easier to regrow an arm with a pill of this level. It could even be said to be a waste of sledgehammer. Long Yu did not need this healing pill at the moment. After one of his arms was chopped off, he even had a very special feeling. From his second heart, the demon dust heart, endless life force continuously surged out and regenerated his arm that had been chopped off. Moreover, the new arm that had been regenerated was slightly different from his previous arm. As for what exactly was different, Long Yu could not tell, but it gave him an idea. The devil dust heart can completely regenerate my physical body. In this way, I might be able to completely absorb the pills that I've taken in the past without causing the medicinal effects to be halved. Long Yu did not know why the medicinal effects of the same pill would be halved when a cultivator consumed it. However, it was probably because after consuming a pill, that pill would leave some kind of medicinal residue in the cultivator's body. As a result, when the same pill was consumed again, the medicinal effects would be halved. After the devil dust heart regenerated Long Yu's arm, all the various medicinal residue in Long Yu's arm seemed to have disappeared. This gave Long Yu a great idea. If the arm is regenerated, there will be no medicinal residue in the arm. If the whole body is regenerated, won't all the medicinal residue in the body disappear? Perhaps this is the method that Juyo Dragon Emperor wants to use to consume the 5 upper primordial great pills and completely absorb all the medicinal effects and the power of creation in them. A bold conjecture came to Long Yu's mind. If this conjecture was true, then he would not need to cultivate the devil dust heart to the second layer. He would be able to continuously consume the same pills and absorb all the medicinal effects in them. "Brother, I don't need this healing pill." When Long Yu thought of these things, the bewilderment in his mind was swept away. Instead, he was somewhat happy. He said to Prince Blood Demon, "I'm at the critical moment of a breakthrough. If it's convenient for the two of you, all right, Brother Mountain Ghost, just let me know if you have any requests. I'll take my sister away from here first." Prince Blood Demon laughed. Seeing that Long Yu did not seem to have any complaints, he was relieved. He turned around and pulled the woman in red out of the side hall. The woman in red was pulled away by Prince Blood Demon. She turned around and looked at Long Yu, feeling a little curious about him. Because if it were someone else who had an arm chopped off in such a baffling way, they would definitely be very angry. But this human boy was actually somewhat happy. How strange. "Little brother, is there something wrong with your human friend's head? Why is he so happy when his arm has been chopped off?" Chapter 1101. The Blood Demon Prince was quite puzzled by his sister's words. He could only say, "Mountain Ghost is not an ordinary person. Sister, you should know how powerful he is when you failed to kill him with your sudden attack. You should know that you are a high-level dominator. That's because I underestimated him and didn't use my full strength. Otherwise, he would have died long ago." The woman in red snorted lightly, as if she was not very convinced. But of course, she would not be angry with a 2-star emperor. She followed Prince Blood Demon and left the side palace. Long Yu heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the two of them leaving. He once again returned to the 9 Nether Realm and prepared to self-detonate his fleshly body. In any case, he had already condensed the devil dust heart, and self-detonating his fleshly body would allow him to be reborn. When his fleshly body self-detonated, his soul consciousness would be attached to the devil dust heart, so there wouldn't be anything wrong. After all, he was a 2-star emperor. If he wanted to explode his body, he would have to find a spacious place. He could not explode in the VIP space. Otherwise, the entire VIP space would be greatly damaged. Moreover, Long Yu did not want Prince Blood Demon and the others to know the secret of his devil dust heart. When he reached the spacious void of the 9 Serenities realm, Long Yu took a deep breath. Even if he had the devil dust heart, it would still take a lot of courage to explode his body. But Long Yu never lacked courage. Explode. With a thought, the 9 Serenity's divine characters on Long Yu's body suddenly surged, filling all the meridians in his body. Then, with a loud bang, Long Yu's body instantly turned into ashes. Although Long Yu's body was very tough, if he wanted to explode himself, it would be very easy. He only needed to let the various forces in his body clash with each other. Therefore, in just an instant, Long Yu directly self-destructed. Within the entire void, a wave of energy swept out, extending to a distance of 1,000 miles. If there were any other cultivators within 1,000-li radius, as long as they weren't in the Sovereign Secret Realm, they would be affected by Long Yu's explosion. Even if they didn't die, they would be gravely injured. The power of Long Yu's explosion was definitely more destructive than the self-explosion of the Abyss clan. If he was forced into a corner, Long Yu could also use this method to deal with the enemy. Of course, Long Yu would definitely not choose to self-destruct until the very last moment. This was because after self-destructing, he would lose his ability to move. If self-destructing couldn't kill his opponent, then Long Yu would be at the mercy of his opponent. It was extremely dangerous. By the time the ripples from the explosion had spread out, the entire area had gradually calmed down. In the space where Long Yu was originally standing, there was only a beating, pitch-black heart left. This was truly his second heart, the Devil Dust Heart. At this time, the Devil Dust Heart was constantly absorbing energy from the surrounding void, and through the conversion and condensation, it reformed Long Yu's original body. This reformed body was as strong as Long Yu's original body. The only difference was that there were no dregs of medicinal pills in it, so he could continue to absorb the same medicinal pills. Long Yu's consciousness remained within the Devil Dust Heart. He urged the Devil Dust Heart to continuously condense his fleshly body. He discovered that although the Devil Dust Heart was able to absorb energy from the void to condense his fleshly body, the speed was not fast. Perhaps it was because the energy in the Netherworld realm was almost exhausted, but Long Yu spent 3 days to reconstruct his fleshly body. This speed was really too slow, which meant that this move couldn't be used in an intense battle. Furthermore, when my physical body explodes and only the Demon Dust Heart is left, I can't use any other methods, including the 7 great innate divine abilities, martial skills, and so on. In this state, I have no way of resisting at all. Any cultivator would be able to destroy the Demon Dust Heart, and then I would die forever. After 3 days, Long Yu's body was finally completely reformed, and he shook his head slightly. However, if I cultivate this Devil Dust Heart to a higher level, perhaps I can have a different experience. In any case, I can't use this move in battle for the time being. Long Yu is still looking forward to the future potential of the Devil Dust Heart, not to mention anything else. Now that his fleshly body had been completely reconstructed, he could finally absorb the remaining 2 upper Yuan Huan pills. Moreover, he could absorb all of their medicinal properties without any weakening. Long Yu did not waste any time, and immediately began to consume the remaining 2 upper Yuan Huan pills. Of course, these 2 upper Yuan Huan pills could not be consumed by Long Yu at the same time. He could only consume one of them first, and then self-destruct and reform his body. Only then could he consume the last pill. This way, he could absorb the medicinal properties of the pills to the greatest extent. To consume the pills, he did not need to be in the 9 Netherworld. Therefore, Long Yu returned to the side hall of the VIP space in the Beyond Heavens world. Here, he could absorb the aura of the Dubhe star to a greater extent, and only then could he consume the last pill. This way, he could absorb the medicinal properties of the pills to the greatest extent. At this time, Long Yu sensed that the Blood Demon Prince and his sister had left the VIP space again. He did not know where they went. The previous incident should not happen a second time. Long Yu began to consume the first remaining upper Yuan Huan pill. Indeed, as he had expected, when he consumed the second upper Yuan Huan pill, he did not feel any weakening of the medicinal properties. The medicinal properties of this upper Yuan pill were completely absorbed by Long Yu. Consuming the same pill a second time would not weaken the medicinal properties. If this matter were to spread, it would definitely shock the entire territory of the human race and the demon race. Unfortunately, this method was not something Long Yu would spread. What the devil dust heart represented was something from the 9 nether prison tablet. This was his greatest reliance, and he could not tell anyone else about it. Long Yu did not intend to tell anyone about the existence and effects of the devil dust heart. This was the 4th time that Long Yu had consumed an upper Yuan pill, and he was very familiar with its medicinal properties. This time, the medicinal properties of the upper Yuan pill were 5 times stronger. With the addition of the Dubhe Chi drawing martial technique, the medicinal properties were 6 times stronger than before. This allowed Long Yu to advance by leaps and bounds. The 3rd Khanate Mystique, Dragon Breath of the 9 Nether. In Long Yu's Dantian was a spiraling black dragon. After absorbing the creation power of the upper Yuan pill, the Mystique fruit had become even thicker, and the black dragon had a corrosive aura. Emperor Dao Mystique, Dragon Breath of the 9 Nether. Long Yu had finally cultivated the Dragon Breath of the 9 Nether into an Emperor Dao Mystique. The power of the Dragon Breath of the 9 Nether was already comparable to an Emperor Dao Mystique. Now, it was even more terrifying. Furthermore, the Dragon Breath of the 9 Nether had an additional corrosive effect, making it even more terrifying when used. I finally stepped into the level of the 3-star Emperor. Since coming to this VIP space, I've spent a total of half a month. Finally, I've made a breakthrough in my martial cultivation. My basic strength is 3 times stronger than before. If I were to face the Abyss race now, I would probably be able to kill it in 2 or 3 moves. Long Yu thought to himself. However, he was not very satisfied with his current progress. After all, the 3-star Emperor was still a long way from entering the ruler's secret realm. If he could not enter the ruler's secret realm within half a year, the 9 nether realm's living beings would become a huge problem. Therefore, Long Yu did not slack off. He continued to cultivate. There was still one last upper vitality pill left. Long Yu planned to self-detonate again before he could consume it again. Therefore, he was not in a hurry. Instead, he took out the 3 additional rewards he had obtained from the bloody battlefield. They were the Heavenly Origin Dragonstone and the other 2 Yellowstone creation items. Created items contained rich power of creation, and they were the main source of energy for monarchs and sovereigns to raise their cultivation. Thus, they were extremely precious. Even the weakest Yellowstone grade created item was worth at least several 100,000 demon coins. The Upper Vitality Pill is an unbounded transcendent grade pill. Although it contains creation power, the amount of creation power is far less than the amount of creation items. Long Yu sensed the Upper Yuan Elixir and the Heavenly Source Dragonstone and discovered that the Heavenly Source Dragonstone contained pure creation power. The density of the creation power was almost the same as the Upper Yuan Elixir, and it was even purer. Long Yu had just consumed the Upper Vitality Pill to raise his cultivation to the 3-star Emperor realm. At the same time, he had also cultivated the Pure World Body. He was one step closer to the 5th level of the Pure World Body. However, if he absorbed the power within the Heavenly Origin Dragonstone, he would not be able to raise his cultivation level. He could only raise his cultivation realm and the strength of his innate mystic arts. 5th grade Mystic Jade. Long Yu looked at the Heavenly Origin Dragonstone in his hand. It contained a special kind of power. It was the creation power. He was very familiar with this kind of power. He had comprehended it in the 9 Nether Black Palace. If he wanted to break through to the ruler's secret realm, he would not have any bottlenecks. The creation power within the Heavenly Origin Dragonstone was quite rich. It was not inferior to the Upper Vitality Pill. However, it was still not enough for Long Yu to break through to the 4-star Emperor realm in one go. If Long Yu was like this, there was no need to talk about other people. The 3-star Emperor had to absorb at least 3 Mystic Jade grade creation items to be able to step into the ranks of the 4-star Emperor realm. Long Yu did not need as many as 3. After he absorbed the Heavenly Origin Dragonstone, he still had 2 more Yellowstone grade creation items. Although the creation power within them was not very rich, they could still raise his cultivation level. Finally, with the addition of the Upper Vitality Pill, Long Yu could definitely break through to the 4-star Emperor realm in one go. After breaking through, his basic strength would increase again. Perhaps it would be difficult for him to control it, but his strength would definitely increase. He would be 10 times stronger than when he was a 2-star Emperor. The Heavenly Origin Dragonstone and the other 2 Yellowstone grade creation items were directly absorbed by Long Yu. The rich creation power within them flowed endlessly into his body, wrapping around his 4th innate mystic art fruit. Chapter 11:02. As Long Yu absorbed the power of creation from the Heavenly Source Dragonstone and the 2 Yellowstone level creations, the 3 items gradually became more and more ordinary. Eventually, the Heavenly Source Dragonstone became an ordinary stone. The power of creation gathered and shrouded Long Yu's 4th innate magic fruit, making his black eyes even more abstruse. The 4th magic fruit, the Shadow Eye, has finally become an Emperor magic fruit. I have stepped into the ranks of the 4-star Emperor. Long Yu breathed a sigh of relief after absorbing the 3 creations. He felt the surging power in his body. It was nearly 10 times stronger than the 2-star Emperor before he went into seclusion. Moreover, Long Yu's physical body had also become much stronger due to the increase in his martial Dao realm. In addition to the effects of the 2 body-tempering martial techniques, Wild Fighting Heavenly Body and Death Realm Body Tempering, the strength of Long Yu's physical body had definitely reached a level that was extremely difficult for cultivators at the Sovereign King level to possess. Merely by relying on my body, I'm able to resist the divine abilities of at least an ordinary 5th-star Imperial Monarch, and even the divine abilities and divine formations of a 6-star Imperial Monarch are unable to completely destroy my body. Long Yu was quite satisfied with his current state. However, he was not satisfied because he had seen more experts after coming to the Beyond Heavens world. Not to mention others, the Blood Demon Prince in front of him was one of them. Of course, there was also the Blood Demon Prince's sister. The Blood Demon Prince was only in his 20s, but he was already a lower-level dominator with his own small world. As for his sister, even Long Yu could not see through her cultivation. Keep practicing. The remaining resources that Long Yu had were not enough for him to break through to the 5-star Emperor level. However, since he had already condensed the Devil Dust Heart, there was no need to hide it anymore. It was better to take everything he had and use it to enhance his strength. There were a lot of miscellaneous pills, and their effects were considered to be very good when added together. The most important thing was still the last Upper Yuan pill. Long Yu did not hesitate, and directly returned to the 9 Nether Realm. Then, he prepared to self-detonate his fleshly body again. Only then would he be able to completely absorb the power of creation and the spiritual chi of heaven and earth in the Upper Yuan pill. Long Yu trained himself for a month in the VIP space that belonged to the Blood Demon Prince in the Bloody Battlefield. Within a month's time, Long Yu's cultivation could be said to have advanced by leaps and bounds. When he finally walked out of the side chamber, his martial arts realm was at the level of a 4-star Emperor. His basic strength was nearly 10 times stronger than before. Both the Dragon Breath of the Underworld and the Eye of Shadow had stepped into the Emperor Dao level. And after that, after taking the last Upper Yuan pill, Long Yu's pure physique finally reached the 5th level. Long Yu could feel that after reaching the 5th level of pure physique, he was able to resist even more negative statuses. Combined with his cultivation that had advanced by leaps and bounds, if he were to be ambushed by the Blood Demon Prince's elder sister again, he wouldn't only be able to move one arm, he should be able to move even more parts of his body. A few days after finishing his cultivation, Long Yu once again returned to Shenwu World to observe the situation there. The results were very gratifying. During this period of time, not only did Long Yu's martial arts realm advance by leaps and bounds, The other people in Shenwu world also advanced by leaps and bounds. Due to the existence of the parallel barrier and the 9 nether heavenly stairs, the cultivators in Shenwu world were able to cultivate at an extremely fast pace. One had to know, this was consuming the 9 nether world's spiritual energy at an extremely fast rate. Long Yu's former friends, such as Man Xian, Qihua, Lu Yuan, Shu Chan, Xing Wu, Yiluan, Hong Yu, and the others had all become Emperor Realm peak stage cultivators. Among these people, some were King Realm, some were Emperor Realm, and even more were Transcendent Realm cultivators. There were even some Heaven Realm cultivators, but in a short period of time, all of them had broken through to at least Emperor Realm, with the majority reaching Emperor Realm peak. However, it wouldn't be so easy for them to become a 1-star Emperor. After all, the power of creation was too rare in the 9 netherworld. Even if there was, Long Yu would have absorbed it for himself and not left it for others. There's still about half a year left. I hope I can enter the ruler's secret realm as soon as possible. Long Yu thought to himself. He didn't want to bring the others to beyond Heaven World because he hadn't found a place to settle down yet. Even if they came out, they wouldn't have a place to stay, so it was better for them to stay in the 9 netherworld, including the Sage Emperor, Feng Yu Xen, Xiying Wu, Shu Chan, and the others. They all wanted to leave the 9 netherworld, but Long Yu didn't agree to bring them out. He only said that they had to wait until they reached Chiming Galaxy and found like Qingfeng. The King Killer planet was too chaotic right now. Long Yu was afraid that something might happen if he let them out, not to mention that Long Yu would be leaving very soon. After training in seclusion for a month, Long Yu finally walked out of the side chamber of the VIP room. He saw that the Blood Demon Prince and his sister had just returned. Congratulations, Brother Mountain Ghost. Your improvement is so fast. It's truly admirable. Prince Blood Demon's eyes lit up when he saw Long Yu, breaking through from 2-star Emperor to 4-star Emperor in 2 months. This speed is unprecedented. Your arm is healed. Prince Blood Demon's sister, the sexy red-haired beauty in red, also lit up when she saw Long Yu. This kid didn't ask for Prince Blood Demon's healing elixir, but his arm was healed. It seemed like he had a lot of good stuff on him. Long Yu nodded and said with a smile, the reward for challenging the Abyss race is too generous. I didn't expect to cultivate to this level. It's beyond my expectations. With the rewards from challenging the Abyss race, it's already good enough to advance by half a realm, let alone from 2-star Emperor to 4-star Emperor. Prince Blood Demon looked Long Yu up and down and laughed. But I'm too lazy to find out what secrets you have. Now, let me formally introduce you. This is my sister, Red Oriole. I'm really sorry about what happened before. It's fine. Actually, my real name is Long Yu. Long Yu waved his hand and finally revealed his real name. That was because he was now certain that the other party did not have any ulterior motives towards him. Otherwise, within this 1 month's time, the other party would have already plotted against him countless times. Long Yu? Prince Blood Demon's expression changed slightly when he heard the name, and he turned his head to look at his sister, Red Oriole. Red Oriole was also a little surprised. So you're Long Yu. What a surprise. You know me? This time, it was Long Yu's turn to be surprised. How did his name spread to the demon race? That's right. The human race seems to have caused quite a ruckus recently. I heard that the Holy Lady of the Juyo tribe ran away from home because of you. Prince Blood Demon nodded and said, The Holy Lady of the Juyo tribe? Who's that? Long Yu subconsciously asked with a jolt in his heart. Consort Yu, of course. You don't know her? Red Oriole was a little surprised. So it's her. I do know her, but I didn't know she was the Holy Lady of the Juyo tribe. Long Yu came to a realization. Consort Yu's identity in the Juyo tribe was the Holy Lady. However, what did Consort Yu running away from home mean? Could it be that she didn't want to be the Holy Lady anymore? Or was it because of him, Long Yu? Something didn't seem right. In any case, Long Yu couldn't understand how Consort Yu running away had anything to do with him. However, the only connection was the Juyo realm. Could it be that the failure to retake the Juyo realm had caused Consort Yu to suffer too much in the Juyo tribe? I was planning to take a break at the White Feather Demon Clan for a while before returning to the Juyo realm. I didn't expect Consort Yu to run away. Now, I have nowhere to go. Long Yu's face darkened as he thought to himself. Apart from Consort Yu, he didn't know anyone else in the Juyo tribe. If Consort Yu wasn't around, there was no point for him to return to the Juyo tribe. At that moment, he could only go to the White Feather Demon Clan to look for passing clear wind and find a safe place to cultivate. At the very least, he had to settle the creatures in the Juyo realm first. However, the information that was transmitted to the demon race wasn't particularly detailed. Only a few people knew of the name Long Yu. The majority of the people only knew of the 3 words. 9 Serene Realm. The Prince Blood Demon looked Long Yu up and down. A wicked smile appeared on his face. So, the rumored small world that belongs to the Juyo Dragon Emperor is in your body? As soon as these words were spoken, the atmosphere instantly became slightly tense. Long Yu, however, laughed. That's right. It's in my body. From a moment he revealed his real name, he had already trusted the Prince Blood Demon. There was no need for him to keep it a secret anymore. After all, the Prince Blood Demon had said that the name Long Yu was not very famous in the territory of the demon race. Only a few people knew about it. Besides, it would not do the two of them any good if Long Yu's identity was revealed. Long Yu believed that they wouldn't do anything reckless. Nice. The Prince Blood Demon's eyes beamed with appreciation. For him, the small world of the Juyo Dragon Emperor was really not a big deal. If Long Yu had kept it a secret, the Prince Blood Demon would have looked down on Long Yu. At that time, he only wanted to make friends with Long Yu because he sensed that the aura on him was different from the others. He didn't know that Long Yu had such an identity. My name is Warlord. Everybody calls me the Prince Blood Demon because I am the most talented man in the royal family of the Blood Demon clan. The Prince Blood Demon extended his hand to Long Yu and introduced himself with a smile. It was not until this moment that the two of them finally got to know each other. If you're the most talented man, isn't your sister the most talented woman? Long Yu extended his hand and shook hands with him with a smile. Then he looked at Red Oriole, the woman in red who was standing with her arms crossed in front of her chest. He could tell that Red Oriole's level was higher than Warlord's, and the two of them should be about the same age. Therefore, Red Oriole must be more talented than Warlord. Aya, you have a good eye. Chapter 11:03. After the two parties got to know each other, Long Yu finally learned the position of the Blood Demon clan in the demon race. There were a total of 246 galaxies in the territory of the demon clan. Basically, there were several large groups of demon cultivators in each galaxy, just like the clans in the territory of the human clan. The King Killer Monster Clan was one of the 4 great monster clans of the Iron Wall Celestial River and controlled one of the 4 great cultivation planets of the Iron Wall Celestial River, the King Killer Star. The Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan was also one of the 4 great monstrous clans of the Iron Wall Galaxy, but the one they controlled was the Golden Flood Dragon Star, one of the 4 great cultivation galaxies of the Iron Wall Galaxy. In comparison, the position of the Blood Demon clan in the Iron Wall Galaxy was obviously not very high, because the Iron Wall Galaxy was not the home base of the Blood Demon clan. However, if the Blood Demon clan was compared to the Gold Flood Dragon Demon clan and the Kingslayer Demon clan, the overall capability of the Blood Demon clan was definitely higher than the two clans, because the Blood Demon clan had occupied a galaxy on their own and ruled over all the 3 cultivation planets in the galaxy. The galaxy was named the Blood Demon Galaxy. It was one of the 246 galaxies in the territory of the demon race. Its overall size was slightly smaller than the Iron Wall Galaxy. But correspondingly, there is only one species in the Blood Demon Galaxy, which was the leader of the Blood Demon clan. Therefore, they were very united and certainly not weaker than the Iron Wall Galaxy. After all, in the Iron Wall Galaxy, there was still some conflict between the 4 cultivation planets. Because of this, Red Monarch, the Blood Demon Prince, and his sister, Red Oriole, were able to have a VIP space in the bloody battlefield on the King Killer planet of the Iron Wall Galaxy. Not everyone could get a VIP space. Even if they had the money, it was difficult to buy one because the number of VIP spaces in the bloody battlefield was limited. As for Red Monarch and Red Oriole, their status in the Blood Demon tribe could be considered to be extraordinary. Red Oriole was the number one genius of a younger generation in the royal family of the Blood Demon tribe. She had just passed the age of 20, but her cultivation was already at the upper dominator level. As for the Red Monarch, he was currently a lower sovereign. Compared to Red Oriole, he was quite a bit inferior. However, this did not affect the relationship between the siblings in the slightest. The two of them had the same father, who was the patriarch of the Blood Demon clan. It was for this reason that the Red Monarch was known as the Blood Demon Prince, and his reputation spread far and wide. What do you plan to do next? Are you going to continue training in the bloody battlefield? Hong Jun introduced himself to the Blood Demon race and then asked Long Yu, after the battle against the Abyss race, everyone was talking about you. They said that you took advantage of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince to defeat the Abyss race. If you still want to challenge me, I think the odds are still very high. Since that's the case, let's make some more money before we leave. Are there any outsiders with strong bodies in this bloody battlefield? Long Yu asked with a smile. The opportunity to earn more demon coins and cultivation resources was hard to come by, and he did not want to waste it. Before he left, he had to use this opportunity. As long as he won one more round, it would be very difficult for him to make too much money from the bets. At that time, everyone would know that his strength was extraordinary, and they would not easily participate in the bets. Since he was going to fight, Long Yu would not waste this opportunity to improve. The best opponents were outsiders with strong bodies like the Abyss race. Only then could he stimulate Long Yu's potential and improve the cultivation level of the fighting mad celestial body. It's not that there are no outsiders with strong bodies, but they are relatively rare. In the 4th level of the bloody battlefield, there should be a few of them. Which level do you want to challenge? 5-star Emperor or 6-star Emperor? When Red Monarch heard that Long Yu still wanted to challenge him, he immediately narrowed his eyes. If Long Yu still wanted to fight, it meant that he could still make more money. In the past month, he and Red Oriole had been training in the bloody battlefield. At the same time, they had participated in many bets, but there were always wins and losses. It was not as satisfying as when they bet on Long Yu. That depends on what kind of opponent it is. 5-star Emperor and 6-star Emperor should not be much different. Long Yu thought for a moment and said, I'll go down to the 4th level of the bloody battlefield to take a look first. Let's go together. Red Oriole was beaming from the side. She had quite a good impression of Long Yu, mainly because he didn't seem to have any objections to her chopping off one of his arms. This human brat was quite open-minded, and she liked him. Of course, Long Yu did not refuse. In fact, he could not refuse to go with Red Oriole. After all, she was much stronger than him. In any case, there was no harm in going together, so the three of them went to the 4th level of the bloody battlefield. The foreign tribes on this level were all at the Emperor level, ranging from 1-star Emperor to 7-star Emperor. As long as they were Emperor-level cultivators, regardless of whether they were humans or demons, they could challenge these foreign tribes freely. They were responsible for their own lives. Long Yu, Red Monarch, and Red Oriole arrived at the 4th level together, immediately attracting the attention of many people. Among them, many people had seen Long Yu challenge the Abyss race a month ago. Their eyes immediately lit up. They all discovered that Long Yu had already stepped into the level of a 4-star Emperor. This speed was unheard of. Even the number one genius of the Blood Demon race beside him, Blood Demon Princess Red Oriole, took more than a month to go from a 2-star Emperor to a 4-star Emperor. This Long Yu is really surprising. The reward he received from challenging the Abyss race last time is not enough to increase his cultivation by 2 levels. It seems that this person has accumulated a lot of cultivation resources and absorbed them all in one go in the past month. That should be the case. However, this means that his 4-star Emperor cultivation is definitely not stable enough. I'm afraid his combat ability will not reach the standard of an ordinary 4-star Emperor. many people began to discuss Long Yu. Of course, Long Yu and the others did not pay attention to these people. Instead, they began to walk around the fourth level of the bloody battlefield, going to one fighting arena after another to search. Since Red Monarch and Red Oriole had been wandering around the 5th and 7th floors for the past month, they didn't know much about the 4th floor. They would have to go there to find out what kind of foreign races were in the arena. No matter where the three of them went, they would attract the attention of many people. There were even quite a few people who followed behind the three of them. That was because they guessed that Long Yu was definitely going to challenge a demonic beast. If that was the case, they would be able to watch a good show. The Abyss race is too rare. There doesn't seem to be another one on the 4th level of the bloody battlefield. The one you killed before was the only one. Soon, the three of them searched the entire 4th floor of the bloody battlefield. Long Yu saw that in the martial arena, most of the foreign races were from the foreign races, such as the Ice God Clan, the Earth God Clan, the Winged God Clan, the Fire God Clan, and so on. Long Yu had seen many of these races in the Nine Serenities realm and was very familiar with them. However, the physical strength of these foreign races was not particularly strong, so Long Yu was not very interested in them. Speaking of which, I still have these sacred objects of the foreign races on me. These sacred objects were taken away by the Jiuyo Dragon Emperor and hidden in the Nine Serenities realm. Now that the location of the Nine Serenities realm has changed, those foreign races can't find where the Nine Serenities realm is for a while. I just don't know if these sacred objects of the foreign races will be of any help to me. Long Yu thought to himself as he observed the fighting arena. The appearances of the Ice God Clan and the Fire God Clan were similar to those that Long Yu had seen before. However, the foreign races that could be captured and brought to the bloody battlefield were at least exotic beasts with relatively strong combat strength. In the Nine Serenities realm and the Divine Martial World, these exotic beasts were called special exotic beasts. They were a little different from the ordinary foreign races' exotic beasts. If they were killed, they could obtain some special crystals that contained rich heaven and earth spiritual chi, which was very useful to cultivators. Of course, for cultivators at the Emperor's level, it was not that useful. It seems that there are no foreign races with strong physical bodies on the entire 4th level. Generally speaking, foreign races with strong physical bodies are more difficult to capture alive. Even if they are captured alive, they will self-destruct. Therefore, there are indeed fewer foreign races of this type in the bloody battlefield. After searching the entire 4th level, Hong Jun was a little disappointed. There were no exotic beasts with strong physical bodies. It seemed that Long Yu did not have a good opponent to challenge. However, Long Yu soon smiled and said, "It's fine if there are no foreign races with strong physical bodies. Then let's challenge the Soul Race." The Soul Race was also one of the foreign races that fought against the Monster Race. This kind of foreign race was like the polar opposite of the Abyss race. The Abyss race could not use divine characters and had strong physical bodies. However, the Soul Race did not have a fixed physical body. Their existence was completely in the form of a soul. They could not be seen with the naked eye and could only be detected with perception. This kind of soul race was very difficult for ordinary cultivators to deal with. This was because the powerful soul race would not let you detect their existence. They could easily use methods similar to soul control to kill you silently. Therefore, in the 4th floor of the bloody battlefield, there was only one soul race being. This soul race being was trapped in the arena and couldn't be seen with the naked eye. Even because of the arena's protective barrier, people outside couldn't feel the existence of the soul race inside. They could only know from the arena's introduction that there was a soul race being imprisoned here. There was only one steward of the Killer King standing at the side of the martial arena. This was because this Spiritas was too unpopular. Generally, no one would choose to challenge him. He had been here for a month, but only a handful of people had challenged the Spiritas, and all of them had failed. This led to a lot more rewards for this soul race. Of course, compared to the previous rewards for the Abyss race, it was far inferior. In addition, the difficulty of challenging this soul race was definitely no less than that of the Abyss race. Therefore, no one was willing to challenge this soul race. The soul race at the level of the 6-star Emperor. Hong Jun was stunned when he heard this. He did not expect Long Yu to make this decision. Even if there was no foreign race with strong physical bodies, he should not choose this foreign race that had no physical body at all, right? Chapter 1104. Hong Jun did not expect Long Yu to challenge the soul race at all. After all, the soul race was a foreign race that ordinary cultivators could not deal with. Long Yu, if you want to challenge the soul race, you need very strong detection abilities. Can you do it? Hong Jun asked suspiciously. I think I have no problem with detection abilities. This 6-star Emperor's soul race definitely cannot escape my senses. Long Yu said confidently. Although he was only a 4-star Emperor, with his Emperor Path Mystique, Eye of Shadows, and his 8th level martial arts mystic technique, he could definitely detect the 6-star Emperor soul race. If he could not detect the other party, then the soul race was too terrifying. Furthermore, the soul race's techniques are all mental. Long Yu, you have to think this through. I heard that your physical body can fight against the Abyss race, but I believe that your attainments in the mental aspect cannot compare to your physical body. Hong Ying also said doubtfully. She did not understand Long Yu's choice. We will only know the outcome after the fight. I will go and sign up for the challenge now. Long Yu did not say much. Instead, he smiled and turned to the demon race steward at the edge of the arena, preparing to sign up to challenge the soul race in the arena. Although Hong Jun and Hong Ying did not understand Long Yu's choice, they did not stop him since Long Yu was confident. The last time he fought the Abyss race, it was a 2-star Emperor against a 4-star Emperor. Long Yu was able to win. This time, as a 4-star Emperor, Long Yu should have no problem fighting the 6-star Emperor soul race. We should believe in him. Hong Jun narrowed his eyes and said to Hong Ying. Red Oriole looked at Long Yu's back and pouted. I think he's courting death. Even I don't dare to face a soul of the same realm. After all, the attacks of this race are too strange and impossible to guard against. I want to see if he can survive the martial arena after putting on such a show. With regards to his sister's attitude, Hong Jun was also helpless. He knew that Hong Ying was jealous of Long Yu's talent. This brat, a 4-star Emperor Monarch, actually didn't even frown when challenging a 6-star Emperor Monarch. This was truly not something an ordinary person could do. If Long Yu won this battle, his reputation would spread throughout the entire bloody battlefield. However, to be honest, even Hong Jun was not very confident in Long Yu's challenge. Of course, since he had chosen Long Yu, he would definitely believe in Long Yu. No matter what, Long Yu was a man who had withstood a blow from his sister. Sis, I'm going to play big this time. I'll bet 50 million demon coins. What do you think? Hong Jun smiled at Red Oriole. When Red Oriole heard this, she snorted and said, 50 million demon coins is your entire family fortune. If you squander it all here, I won't support you. Sis, you really don't believe in Long Yu. I think he can really win. Isn't it just a spirit race? Who knows? Maybe this brat has some methods that can restrain the spirit race. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so confident. Hong Jun narrowed his eyes and said, Up to you. I don't care if you lose. Red Oriole snorted. Seeing that Hong Jun was about to place his bet, she suddenly shouted, Remember to add another 10 million to bet on Long Yu winning. If you lose, it's on you. If you win, it's on me. When Hong Jun heard this, he immediately cried, Sis, aren't you bullying me? If I lose, it's on me. I only have a total of 50 million demon coins on me. How can I have another 10,000? Why should I care? Then bet 50 million. If you win, just give me half. Red Oriole shrugged her shoulders and said. Tears immediately streamed down Hong Jun's face. Give her half. Wouldn't that be equivalent to giving her tens of millions, however? Since his sister had spoken, Hong Jun did not dare to disobey. He could only help her bet 50 million and give her half if he won. Before this, Long had already spent 1 million demon coins to sign up to challenge the 6-star Emperor's soul. As this soul's cultivation level was that of the 6-star Emperor, the challenge fee had increased a lot. Moreover, the difficulty was well known, so the registration fee was 1 million demon coins. This was not a small cost. It could be said that it was close to half of Long Yu's current wealth. After successfully challenging the Abyss race, Long Yu had received a basic reward of 900,000 demon coins. In addition to the 1.5 million bonus from the bet, he had a total of 2.4 million demon coins on hand. Now, he had directly paid 1 million demon coins to sign up for the challenge. It could be seen that not everyone was qualified to challenge the soul. Of course, after such a high challenge fee, there would definitely be a very considerable profit. As long as he could defeat this soul, the basic reward alone would be 2 million demon coins. In addition, Long Yu was 2 realms lower than the soul, so the basic reward would be 3 times that of Border City, which was 6 million demon coins. After deducting the registration fee, Long Yu would be able to make a net profit of 5 million demon coins. In addition, this soul had already defeated 10 challengers in the past month, so if he could defeat this soul, there would be 2 additional rewards. One of them was a mysterious Jade Grade 5 creation item, which was worth the Heavenly Source Dragonstone. There was another additional reward, which was a transcendent endless grade pill for demon cultivators. The value of a transcendent endless grade pill was definitely higher than a creation item like the Heavenly Source Dragonstone. Unfortunately, it was useless to Long Yu. Of course, even if it was useless, it could still be auctioned for money and then used to buy other things. At the very least, it could be exchanged for a transcendent, endless grade human cultivation pill. This kind of transaction was very easy in the demon territory. One thing to note was that Long Yu's battle would not be simple. It was said that among the 10 challengers who challenged this soul, only one who was proficient in mental technique survived. The others were either dead, crazy, or forever trapped in an illusion, unable to extricate themselves. This kind of terrifying ending was even more frightening than death. Therefore, no one had come to ask about this soul for several days. The fact that Long Yu wanted to challenge this soul exceeded the expectations of the Killer King Demon Race supervisor. The 4-star Emperor's human race seems to be the kid who defeated the Abyss race a month ago. Although he has risen by 2 realms, if he wants to challenge the 6-star Emperor's soul with just that, he's really overestimating himself. The Killer King Demon Race supervisor gave this evaluation to Long Yu in his heart. However, since Long Yu had given him 1 million demon coins, he naturally would not reject Long Yu's registration. After registering Long Yu, the Killer King Demon Race supervisor immediately began to publicize this battle. He also added some titles to Long Yu, such as defeating the Abyss race, defeating the Golden WRM Third Prince, and so on. Very soon, many people were attracted to the arena, ready to watch this battle. The betting on this battle also began very quickly. What shocked everyone was that the Blood Demon Prince actually came again and directly bet 50 million demon coins that the human mountain ghost would win and kill the soul. When Long Yu challenged, he naturally used the name Mountain Ghost, not Long Yu. Has the Blood Demon Prince lost his mind? Last time, he bet 10 million demon coins on this mountain ghost because of the Golden WRM Third Prince. This time, there's no one to fight for the mountain ghost. That's right. This time, he is challenging someone 2 levels higher than him. Moreover, it is the extremely difficult soul race. The opponent is too mysterious. I'm afraid this mountain ghost has no chance of winning. That Blood Demon Prince must have miscalculated this time. Look, the people of the Golden WRM Demon Race are coming. Very soon, a group of people rushed over from other places. It turned out to be the people of the Golden WRM Demon Race who had heard the news. Their leader was the Golden WRM Third Prince who had challenged the Abyss race before Long Yu. Previously, when he challenged the Abyss race, the Golden WRM Third Prince was ambushed by the Abyss race and had 3 bloody holes on his back. Now that more than a month had passed, he had naturally recovered from his injuries. At this moment, the Golden WRM Third Prince came to the edge of the arena and waited for the battle between Long Yu and the Soul Race. His eyes were cold and disdainful. That human brat called Mountain Ghost really thinks he's so strong. He actually dares to challenge the soul race. He must be tired of living. The golden WIRM third prince snorted coldly. Hong Jun and Red Oriole weren't surprised by the golden WIRM third prince's arrival. After all, the previous battle against the Abyss race was definitely a humiliation for the golden WIRM third prince. For someone like the golden WIRM third prince, the person who had brought him humiliation, Mountain Ghost, would definitely be the focus of attention. It was likely that the moment Mountain Ghost appeared, someone had already informed the golden WIRM third prince to come over. Crown Prince, there's no need to be angry. That kid only got lucky last time. This time, he won't get lucky. That's right. Even the Crown Prince might not be a match for this 6-star Imperial Monarch Soul Race expert if he were to personally participate in a battle. This human kid is undoubtedly courting death. A group of guards from a Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast clan began to flatter the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince, causing the expression on the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince's handsome face to ease up. After all, the previous matter had given him a great shock. What happened next made the golden WIRM third prince sneer. After the bet was opened, almost everyone bet their demon coins on the soul race. They didn't think highly of Long Yu at all. Only the blood demon prince, Hong Jun, actually bet 50 million demon coins on Long Yu. This time, he was the only one willing to bet on Long Yu. Previously, there were people who wanted to take a chance and bet on Long Yu like Hong Jun. But this time, there wasn't even a single person who wanted to bet. No one believed that Long Yu could defeat the soul race. I remember that 7 days ago, the young genius from the Kingslayer demon race, the 6-star emperor, came to challenge the soul race. Unfortunately, he was turned crazy by the soul race's methods and was trapped in an illusion all day long. His fate was extremely miserable. This human brat is even less likely to be a match for the soul race. Chapter 1105. The explosive magnetic dragon blood was one of the magnetic patterns of the sacred dragon blood diagram. Long Yu had tested its effects before and found that it could attract psychic power. In a current battle against the spirit folk, its effects were practically at their peak. It's a pity that I've only reached the initial resonance level with the sacred dragon blood diagram. The chance of this endless grade war weapon unleashing its full power isn't high. This is the first time I've used the explosive magnetic dragon blood in actual combat, but it didn't work. Long Yu couldn't help but think that the explosive magnetic dragon blood's power hadn't been unleashed yet, so it posed a limited threat to the spirit folk. Of course, even so, it still managed to block the spirit folk's attack. The spirit folk's psychic soul body, invisible to the naked eye, split into 6 parts. Each part transformed into a soul blade that tried to stab Long Yu's soul. However, the 6 soul blades were all sucked in by the explosive magnetic dragon blood. The violent magnetic dragon blood's attraction to one's mental strength was extremely terrifying. Even if it was a 6-star Imperial Monarch, it was caught off guard and was unable to resist it. It was directly drowned in the violent magnetic dragon blood and was unable to escape for a while. In the past, the Juyo Dragon Emperor used the sacred dragon blood diagram to defeat countless enemies. Although this endless grade war weapon can't compare to some absolute beginning divine grade weapons, it's still one of the strongest war weapons in the world. Long Yu couldn't help but sigh. He was only a 4-star emperor, but when he used the explosive magnetic dragon blood, he was able to directly break the 6-star emperor's spirit folk technique. This showed just how terrifying this endless grade war weapon was. But soon, the spirit folk broke out of the explosive magnetic dragon blood and devoured it. A portion of it was converted into the spirit folk's psychic power. This phenomenon shocked Long Yu. This spirit folk's technique was truly extraordinary. The explosive magnetic dragon blood, which had no explosive power, not only did it not do anything to him, it became his nourishment. In the next moment, the soul race condensed the mental energy they had devoured from the violent dragon magnetic blood into countless pillars of light that swept toward Long Yu. These pillars of light were all made up of mental power. They were the same blood-red color as the Berserk Dragon's magnetic dragon blood. It was as if they were trying to pull Long Yu's mind and soul out of his body. The closer he got, the stronger the feeling became. Long Yu didn't dare to stay where he was. He could only use the nether dragon blade to instantly teleport to another corner of the arena. The blood-colored beams of light condensed by the soul race lost their target and slammed into the edge of the arena. It was as though the soul race did not possess this power, so their control over it was not very smooth. The blood-colored beams of light could not even turn. But then, an even more violent psychic storm appeared from where the soul race was and swept toward Long Yu. This time, Long Yu could not dodge. The range of the attack was too wide. Long Yu could sense that this psychic attack was almost as strong as a grade 5 god formation. Moreover, the range of the attack was so wide that it was impossible to dodge. Then I'll just have to fight it. Long Yu did not have many methods to resist psychic power. Apart from the protection of his worldly purity physique, he only had the explosive magnetic dragon blood of the sacred dragon blood diagram. The soul race's psychic storm swept toward him. Long Yu felt that he would not be able to completely block it with just his worldly purity physique. Therefore, he had to use the explosive magnetic dragon blood to offset part of the psychic attack. Explosive magnetic dragon blood. Without hesitation, Long Yu waved the sacred dragon blood diagram again. A blood-colored magnetic storm burst out. This time, its power finally exploded, displaying the characteristics of an unbounded warrior. The power of the crimson magnetic storm burst forth with a loud bang. Its power was more than twice as powerful as before. It instantly spread out and completely blocked the mental storm that the other party had unleashed and absorbed it into the violent dragon magnetic blood. Retract. With his previous experience, Long Yu did not hesitate to activate the sacred dragon blood diagram and retract the power of the explosive magnetic dragon blood into the diagram. He did not give the soul race a chance to absorb the power of the explosive magnetic dragon blood. The sacred dragon blood diagram expanded in an instant, but the explosive magnetic dragon blood storm did not stop. The soul race's next attack descended. It was also 2 psychic storms, but this one was more solid than the one before. Clearly, it was more powerful. If Long Yu was hit by the psychic storm, his soul would definitely be destroyed in an instant. Even if his body was unharmed, his mind and soul would be obliterated. The 2 psychic storms still could not be seen with the naked eye. Even with Long Yu's balance control and the umbrella eye, he could only vaguely sense that the 2 attacks were too well hidden. If it were anyone else, they would definitely be hit directly. Fortunately, Long Yu had cultivated balance control, allowing him to control the energy around him to the finest detail. When the 2 psychic storms approached, Long Yu could vaguely sense them. He raised his hand and waved the sacred dragon blood diagram. Explosive magnetic dragon blood, come out. Long Yu raised his hand and condensed the explosive magnetic dragon blood again. A blood-red magnetic storm swept out from the sacred dragon blood diagram and met the 2 psychic storms head-on. The endless grade fighter, the sacred dragon blood diagram, resonated with Long Yu. Their auras combined and triggered the explosive magnetic dragon blood's 3-fold power. Moreover, because the explosive magnetic dragon blood had been condensed by Long Yu this time and was not scattered, its impact was even stronger. It instantly drowned out the opponent's 2 spiritual storms and charged towards the soul race member. Seeing this, the soul race did not hesitate. It immediately retreated. The explosive magnetic dragon blood landed on the protective barrier of the arena and turned into ripples that spread out. It did not harm the soul race in the slightest. I can sense its location, but it doesn't seem that easy to kill that spirit body. It's mainly because the explosive dragon magnetic blood's methods are too simple and not agile enough. It can't catch up to the speed of that soul. Long Yu's face darkened. The only move in the dragon blood sacred diagram that was related to mental attacks was the explosive dragon blood magnetic. It would be too difficult to kill that soul race member with a single move, as expected of a 6-star imperial monarch from the soul race. It was captured from the foreign race's battlefield. The person who was able to capture this soul race member was definitely an expert skilled in mental techniques. Moreover, with the combat strength of this soul race member, it was not strange for it to be able to defeat 10 challengers. Outside the arena, Prince Blood Demon, Red Oriole, the third Golden Jiao Dragon Prince, and tens of thousands of others were watching the battle. But outside the martial arena, they couldn't sense the aura of the Spiritus. They could only see Long Yu constantly changing positions, and on the martial arena, divine runes were constantly clashing with each other, erupting with soul-stirring energy fluctuations that caused ripples to form on the martial arena's protective barrier. I said he would have a way. He's already much stronger than the person who challenged this soul race member in the past. Hong Jun whispered to his sister, Red Oriole. He was rather surprised by Long Yu's performance. This is really unexpected. This kid does have some ability. Red Oriole had previously told Long Yu to cheer on, so she naturally had confidence in Long Yu. However, she did not expect Long Yu to look so relaxed. He did not look like the nervous and sweaty soul cultivators he had challenged in the past. There are 3 points. First, his detection and perception abilities are very strong, so he can discover the location of the soul race member. Hong Jun narrowed his eyes and began analyzing. Second, he has a method to restrain mental attacks, or rather, negative state attacks. Therefore, this soul race member's attacks aren't very effective against him. Finally, he has a method that can harm the soul race. He has been using it all this time. That blood-colored storm seems to be able to attract the power of souls. It's a great threat to that soul race member. Unfortunately, this kid is still unable to control that soul race member. Therefore, his methods are unable to truly harm the soul race member. This has caused the situation to be in a stalemate. Red Oriole's cultivation was even higher than Hong Jun's, so she could naturally see these things. She was also a little worried about the following situation. If Long Yu relied on these things to challenge the soul race member, he might very quickly be at a disadvantage. After all, the soul race member was an existence similar to the 6-star emperor. Furthermore, he had been captured from the battlefield of the foreign races. His viciousness and cunning likely surpassed Long Yu's. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race and the group of golden armor guards behind him originally thought that Long Yu would die the moment he entered the arena. They did not expect that Long Yu would be able to last so long against the soul race member. This kid is really lucky. Could it be that this soul race member was also severely injured in the previous battle? That's possible. After all, those who came to challenge this soul race member are all cultivators who are very proficient in mental techniques. It's very likely that he caused serious injuries to the soul race member. That's right. However, compared to the previous Abyss race member, if this soul race member was seriously injured, we wouldn't know. Even now, us spectators still don't know where the soul race member is. The spiritual form of the soul race member could not be seen with the naked eye, and their senses were blocked by the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. Even Red Oriole, who was a high-level ruler, could not detect the situation in the arena. Because of this, the battle became even more confusing in the eyes of the tens of thousands of spectators. They did not even know what was going on in the arena. As time passed, the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race became more and more gloomy. If Long Yu really killed this soul race member, not only would he lose 50 million demon coins, he would also lose face. The relationship between the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race and the Blood Demon race could not be said to be bad, but it was definitely not particularly harmonious. If he lost to the Blood Demon Prince again, he would feel that he was a level lower than the Blood Demon Prince in the future. This feeling made him very unhappy. The fluke last time will not happen again. Kid, the methods of the soul race are not as simple as you think. Chapter 11:07. The Blood Demon Prince, Hong Jun, saw the killing intent in the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince's eyes. I wonder what kind of unorthodox method this fellow is thinking of. I have to remind Brother Long to be careful of this person's revenge. Hong Jun narrowed his eyes, then turned his head and continued to look at the arena. He thought that since Long Yu could last for so long, he should have a way to deal with the soul. He could only wait and see. Under everyone's gaze, the battle between Long Yu and the soul had only just begun. The psychic storm at the beginning and the magnetic dragon bloodburst were just probing attacks from both sides. The following battle was the most intense. Perhaps this kind of contest on the psychic level would not have any dazzling scenes, but it was the most thrilling. This was because the most frightening thing was definitely the unknown. In the arena, everyone could only see Long Yu, but they could not see the soul. They could only feel that the outcome of the battle between Long Yu and the soul could be decided in the next moment, or it could continue to be a stalemate for a long time. No one knew the outcome of this battle. But until now, everyone still believed that Long Yu could not be a match for the soul at the level of the six-star emperor. In the arena, Long Yu closed his eyes and calmed his heart. He used his balance control to sense everything around him. For the current him, there was no difference between closing his eyes and opening his eyes. Perhaps the only difference was that after closing his eyes and losing his vision, his balance control's detection was more sensitive. It's coming. Long Yu felt a strange psychic wave descend from above his head. The light of the worldly purity body instantly enveloped his body. That strange psychic wave was a soul resonance technique that the soul had used. It could cause Long Yu's mind and soul to resonate, allowing the soul to control his body for a certain period of time. Unfortunately, such methods were not of much use to Long Yu. The worldly purity body had the ability to purify all negative energy that harmed Long Yu. When a psychic wave from the soul resonance descended on Long Yu's head, the worldly purity body activated and dispersed the psychic wave, preventing it from affecting Long Yu at all. Over there, magnetic dragon bloodburst. At this time, Long Yu sensed the position of the soul race and directly threw a wave of magnetic dragon blood in that direction. The blood-colored magnetic storm spread out, completely enveloping the space around the arena. Of course, it also completely trapped the soul race. Very good. It's a threefold burst again. Long Yu was overjoyed. He could feel the might of the magnetic dragon violent blood this time. Once again, it produced a terrifying destructive power that was 3 times more explosive. In an instant, it attracted the soul race member. Unfortunately, Long Yu's magnetic dragon exploding blood had been used too many times on the soul race creature. The explosive magnetic dragon blood, which had just erupted with 3 times its power, had just trapped the soul tribe member within it when it was completely absorbed by the soul tribe member using a strange method. Instead, the explosive magnetic dragon blood was suppressed. The entire soul body floated out of the area and continued to attack Long Yu. Magnetic dragon bloodburst. If I don't unleash more than 5 times its power, I'm afraid it won't be a threat to the soul at all. In that case, I don't have many methods left. I have to kill this soul in one strike. Long Yu kept thinking about how to fight. Facing this formless soul, Long Yu already had a way to control it. It was the 9 nether deterrents of the 9 nether true spirit. Alternatively, he could summon a few 9 nether hunters and use the heart saber triple slash to trap it in an illusion for a period of time. This was something Long Yu could do. However, the key problem was that he couldn't use the same move too many times against an opponent. If he failed to kill it the first time, Long Yu would face greater difficulties in the future. In any case, Long Yu had too few mental techniques, so the methods he could use to deal with this soul were limited. What he lacked now was a way to completely kill this soul. The magnetic dragon blood wouldn't work, and the heart blade of the Netherworld Hunter only had the effect of an illusion. It was impossible to kill it, and the Netherworld True Spirit's deterrence didn't have much destructive power. If he wanted to kill this soul, he had to think of another way. 9 Nether Hand, 9 Nether Dragon Breath, Soul Seal Siphon. Right, Soul Seal Siphon. Long Yu quickly listed all the techniques he had and finally found one, Soul Seal Siphon. Ever since this Khanate mystical power had broken through to become an Emperor Dao mystical power, Long Yu had used the Siphon Totem's function the most. It could absorb the power of various divine texts and convert it into his own. But in fact, the initial effect of Soul Seal Siphon was to absorb the other party's soul mark and temporarily weaken the other party. If the opponent ignored the attack of Soul Seal Siphon, it would eventually cause permanent damage to the soul mark. Therefore, this move would have a miraculous effect when dealing with weaker opponents. However, when facing experts, the other party only needed to divert a portion of their strength to resist the damage caused by Soul Seal Siphon. Up until now, Long Yu had always been challenging those at a higher realm than him. The people he fought were always powerhouses, so the Soul Seal Siphon didn't have much of an effect. But now, this Spiritas was a pure spiritual body. Its body was its spiritual imprint. The soul was a spiritual body formed by the fusion of physical body and spirit. The soul mark was its body. If he used Soul Seal Siphon, it might have a miraculous effect. As soon as he thought of this, Long Yu didn't give the soul a chance to continue attacking. In the next moment, he directly condensed 3 9 nether hunters and surrounded the soul from 3 different directions. Each of them held 2 scimitars in their hands. One was a real scimitar, and the other was a heart saber. When dealing with the soul, only the heart saber third slash could have some effect. Immediately, the 3 9 nether hunters waved their hands, and the heart saber third slash attacked at the same time. The endless power of the 9 nether divine text condensed into 9 saber lights. Each saber light contained a kind of spiritual illusion power. They instantly swept past the soul. The soul had no form, and its teleportation speed was too fast. Even though the heart saber third slash was terrifying, it still couldn't cut the soul. But even so, the 9 blade lights that contained the power of the mental illusion domain had successfully caused the soul race individual to freeze on the spot. Even though this stagnation could only last for a single breath of time, this one breath of time was enough for Long Yu. 5 siphon totem pillars appeared around the soul almost at the same time. These 5 totem pillars instantly erupted with a suction force toward the soul mark. The soul's entire body was exposed to this suction force. In just a breath of time, the siphon totem had absorbed 10% of its mental strength. The Soul Seal Rainbow Absorption, an Emperor Dao Mystique, was extremely effective against this soul race. Its lethality was several times stronger than the magnetic dragon bloodstorm, instantly suppressing this soul race. However, in just a breath of time, the soul struggled out of the illusion produced by the heart saber third slash. It instantly broke through space and moved to a corner of the arena far away from the 3 siphon totem pillars. At the same time, a spiritual attack storm continued to attack Long Yu. This time, the spiritual attack storm seemed to lock onto Long Yu. No matter where Long Yu ran, the spiritual attack storm would descend on him. Siphon totem. Of course, Long Yu could feel the power of the spiritual attack storm. In an instant, he used the siphon totem again and condensed 5 siphon totem pillars beside him. As soon as the 5 siphon totem pillars appeared, they immediately produced a powerful suction force that sucked in the powerful spiritual attack storm and stored it within, transforming it into Long Yu's own strength. The Emperor's Path technique, Soul Seal Siphon, played a different role in Long Yu's hands. It was both offensive and defensive and complemented each other. In the battle against the soul, it played an amazing role. Even Long Yu did not expect that his innate technique would be even more effective against the soul than the magnetic dragon blood sacred diagram. Of course, this was also because Long Yu's compatibility with the dragon blood sacred diagram was too low. But no matter what, it was enough to be proud of. After all, the dragon blood sacred diagram was the endless level weapon used by the Juyo Dragon Emperor in the demigod realm. The siphon totem was absorbed into Long Yu's body. Then, Long Yu realized that it was still not enough to completely destroy the soul. Although he had managed to absorb 10% of its soul imprint with the soul seal siphon, in terms of life force, the soul still had 90% of its strength left. Just like how Long Yu had lost half of his arm, the soul still had an extremely vigorous life, force, and combat strength. Moreover, the soul might have some kind of method to recover its mental strength. Once used, it could instantly turn the tide of the battle. Long Yu was still not the slightest bit careless. For a moment, he didn't have any good ideas. Suddenly, he thought of the Book of Shadows. The Book of Shadows allows me to imitate anything in the world. If I project it on this soul, doesn't that mean I can also transform into a pure spiritual body? It's just that it'll be a spiritual body that can't fight. With that thought in mind, Long Yu did not waste any time. He immediately used his fifth innate technique, the Book of Shadows, and projected it in the direction of the soul. The next moment, Long Yu felt a transparent page appear on the Book of Shadows. It was the spiritual body of the soul. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.